Werner von Braun, in his deathbed in 1974, told a member of my team, Carol Rosin, that their plan is to create, eventually, an hoax, a threat from outer space, to try to unite the world, like Independence Day, the movie, in a sort of a military global junta of humans against aliens. It's all nonsense. It's BS. But it sells well. It sells movies, it sells tickets, it sells books.
This is the Blue Beam, Project Blue Beam?
Yeah, that related to that. And I've met with many men who've been on operationally, like literally have been operational on those programs. It went from really clunky stuff, like the Betty and Barney Hill abduction. People think that was alien. It wasn't. It was us. Late 50s, early 60s. And I think President Obama's actually working on a documentary about that. And it was an interracial couple. It was very interesting.
What it is you really do.
Yo, what it do, y'all? What it do? Well, I am back. Welcome everybody. I'm your host with the motherfucking most, Chill motherfucking Murray. You are now tuned in to Live from the Spot. Shout out to everybody tuning in, not tuning in. You know how we do it, how we rock. What's going on? Only one Zane, the coldest, Goddess Nish, Mad Hatter, John. What's going on? King Ozma, 3D. Where the homie Fury B? Where everybody at? What's going on, y'all? I miss y'all. Oh, how I miss y'all. I miss seeing that thing say more than 2 or 3. I miss y'all, man. I miss y'all. I miss being on YouTube. They banned a brother for 2 weeks. They banned me for 2 weeks. They banned, like I was just talking to my homie, yo. They banned the right nigga. Stella, what's going on? They banned the right nigga. Madman, what's going on? They banned the right nigga for 2 weeks. I saw it was. I seen it. I seen it coming. But nah, man, they got me for 2 weeks because I was looking at that Quincy video. I don't know if y'all remember last live I was on a couple weeks ago. The night of the election, they banned me. Can you believe that? The night of the election, they banned me. I had to sit and soak about 2 hours, like, what am I gonna do? But I started to get back on Twitch. But then I was like, they done took the steam out already. So I said, all right, wait a couple days, then I'll go live on Twitch. Let everybody. For those that didn't, know what I'm saying, that's why I put it up in the. I put the post up earlier. For those that did want to catch up with the last few lives, you can on the Patreon. I will be publishing some of them on Twitch as well. I can't post all of them because, like I said, again, if y'all haven't noticed, they are cracking down They are cracking down on a lot of us now. Fuck 'em, have time to get your mind right and gather intel. I know that's right. That's exactly what it was. Chill, you ain't gonna don't get missing like that. Drop a pin. I tried to do what I could, man. In the comments, I was just like, yo, I was putting the Twitch TV in some of the comments. I hit some of y'all on Patreon as well. I messaged some of y'all that was on Patreon just to let y'all know. Draken Epidemic doing their smear campaign on King Kendrick Lamar. Yeah, and see that they can't smear Kendrick. They can't smear Kendrick. They can never smear Kendrick. Kendrick has gotten too big to smear. Remember, Kendrick is one of those artists that never cared about being the most popular to begin with. So for him to become that big, it's not going to faze him. Nothing that Drake or academics can do to faze that gentleman whatsoever. And that's why, unfortunately, I'm hoping what I think is going to happen, I hope does not happen. I hope they don't make an example out of him before, at, or post the Super Bowl performance that he has to do. Especially with now Beyonce just randomly doing a halftime show for Houston. I smell something in the water. I smell something in the water. That's right, Ozma. They ain't stopping nothing, man. They ain't stopping nothing with me. That's why tonight we going the long haul and we blowing the whistle for show. We gonna do our Diddy updates. We gonna do our regular round the world updates. But tonight, I let the world know what Project Bluebeam truly is. We briefly touched on it in a couple of pods. Tonight we are going the distance. If we can. Kendrick is an Israelite and a Compton. There ain't no tarnishing him. That's right. I feel the same exact way. So, like I said, without further ado, we just gonna get into what we came to do. And I think the first thing we might as well tackle is these Biden's call on Ukraine. So Biden's move on missiles for Ukraine angers Trump allies. Says President Joe Biden's apparent green light for Ukraine. Man, let me bring this up. I'm getting out of my mojo now. So just bring this up on the bigs real quick. President Joe Biden's apparent green light for Ukraine to strike Russia with U.S.-made long-range missiles has caused consternation among some of Donald Trump's allies. Trump himself has not commented, but he won the election after promising to end the war. Several people close to him have condemned the move as dangerous escalation. See, the thing is, it's not dangerous escalation when you're pretty much a robot. This was something that was, this is one of those you have to put things in place right now because 2025 is right around the corner. Like, right around the corner. We're talking about it's 11/20 right now. It's November 20th, okay? December is not going to be long of a month. Sorry to say. I kind of don't even feel like celebrating the New Year's in a sense because it's nothing to really celebrate going into the year when you literally have aliens, robots, possibly zombies, and what is evident of World War III right now. So Biden has committed tens of billions of dollars to, I think it's Kyiv's war effort. And at the weekend, he reportedly ditched a long-standing red line on Ukraine's use of American weaponry to launch attacks deep into Russia. So the thing is, he's doing this, right? So he's doing this in spite of Putin. Understand that, right? Biden is doing this in spite of Putin. That's why they keep saying Trump's allies, right? We all know Putin and Trump is buddy-buddy. Donald Trump Jr. tweeted that the president was trying to get World War III going before his father took office. So that's pretty much what they're doing right now. Is it's pretty much, you know, how the saying goes, cut your nose to spite your face type shit. America's face, in a sense, this time. Biden's decision has not been formally confirmed, and it may never be. It already is, in a sense. So when asked about how typical it would be for a presidential administration to take such a significant policy decision in its final months, State Department spokesman Matthew Miller said that Biden was elected to a 4-year term, not a term of 3 years and 10 months, which, of course, if you know, he didn't really get to finish out the term because Kamala had to take over on the campaign. He was getting too old. So this is where it gets a little bit, you know, surprising when he's able to make shots and calls like that, but he wasn't able to be in the campaign as far as the next American president. You see what I'm saying? So it says we will use every day of our term to pursue policy interests that we believe are in the interests of the American people. He said, if the incoming administration wants to take a different view, that is, of course, their right to do so. No, it is not, in my opinion. There's one president at a time. It's crazy how he said it, right? There's one president at a time. That's a slap in the face to America to even say like that. There's one president at a time. When the next president takes office, he can make his own decisions. Well, that president has already said he was very much against war, right? So Ukraine's president, Vladimir Zelensky, crazy, right? Vladimir Zelensky said no such announcement, was forthcoming. Missiles will speak for themselves. So Ukraine is pretty much with the shits regardless of the fact. Trump's camp is not pleased. Trump swept to victory on November 5th and is due to be back in the White House for a second term from January 20th next year. Trump has campaigned on a promise to end the U.S. involvement in wars and instead use taxpayers' money to improve American lives. He has said he will bring the Russia-Ukraine war to an end within 24 hours without saying how. If you think Trump is capable of stopping a war in 24 hours,
a bullshit.
There's no way. There's just no way. No way he can do that. Yeah, he signed the bill. You're absolutely right, man. He signed the bill already. Norma Dominguez, what's going on? Fury B, what's going on, homie? What's going on, my brother? Yes, very much so. Russia's about to let that chopper sing. But Ukraine ain't nothing to sneeze at. Ukraine ain't nothing to sneeze at. They ready to go too. They ready to go. But see, that's the thing. It was said about a decade and change ago that if the war ends up going against Iran, U.S. against Iran, that's when shit's really going to hit the fan. So this is like the little tit for tat back and forth. You know what I'm saying? This is the homie slap boxed in the corner before the big homies start to get up and say, all right, this shit got a little too serious. That's really what's going on right now. The American people gave a mandate on November 5th against these exact America last decisions and do not want to fund or fight foreign wars. We want to fix our own problems. It was written on Twitter. Congressman Marjorie Taylor Greene had commented on Twitter. Not all of Trump's allies, including some who advised him on national security affairs during his first term, shared this view. Though they were critical of the Biden administration's approach, James Gilmore, who served as Trump's ambassador to the Organization of Security and Cooperation in Europe, told the BBC that the main issue with Biden's decision to provide Ukraine with his new capability is that it came so late in the war. My criticism of Biden is the same as every other conservative and supporter of Trump, which is that the Biden administration slow-walked this, he said. Gilmore said he did not know what the president-elect would choose to do regarding Ukraine once he entered office. I don't believe that he's a man that usually walks away. So they're already anticipating that if it does get too far out of hand, of course, Trump's pretty much not going to back down from the war, but he does want it to end, of course. So with that being said, you have to take all this information with a grain of salt because, like I said, 18 to 26 years to go to war. Yeah. It's crazy, right? It's never going to happen. The war is not going to end. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. This is an ongoing thing. This is an ongoing thing. And yes, the United Nations definitely does want World War III at this point because we already have studied how BlackRock pretty much invests in these type of things, right? The investors of BlackRock invest in these type of things so they can make some extra money later on, right? They pretty much bet on these things like their stock trade. So even with this happening, we still have to pay attention to the fact that from chaos, there's order, right? I mean, order out of chaos, excuse me. There's order out of chaos. It's on the back of your dollar. A new conceptuous. Show yourself. This right here. This the fuck right here. A new conceptuous. Top. Right? Means order out of chaos. So even with that happening right now, right? And you see the pyramid of the Illuminati Eye. With that happening, they want to create something that's going to, make it even more of a distraction for Project Bluebeam to take place. Yes, the New World Order. That's where they're going to create the one world government. This is how they're going to do it. On top of, you see what they're playing already. And I'm going to play that video again tonight of Project Bluebeam. Part 1 of Bluebeam, just to remind people again. The last card is literally being played right now. What have you been hearing the past 2 weeks? Aliens. They found aliens in the water, the bases, underwater bases. Wait, y'all knew about this shit all this time? Y'all ain't want to tell us shit. Furthermore, give you a better idea, right? While you telling me about the underwater bases of Guadalupe Island and off the coast of Baja, California, while you telling me about that, nigga, tell me about Antarctica. I don't hear about the rest of this shit. Tell me what the fuck you got hiding in Antarctica. That's what I want to know. What you got hiding in Antarctica? What you got hiding in the big ass sheets of ice? What's under them big ass sheets of ice in Antarctica? You could try to, pony show me to death with what's happening in Las Vegas with Area 51 all you want. Y'all got that one off for about 40, 50 years. Easily. Oh, just don't go to Area 51. Like that's the only base. Follow me? They ain't the only base. And they just let y'all know that. Area 51 is not the only place we got aliens. Exactly that. America is Babylon. If you watch The Matrix, series, excuse me, you know exactly what happens to Babylon. And I don't know if we have a Neo. I could try to be, but I don't know if we have a Neo to necessarily stop the war and put a pause to things. You know what I mean? So, with that being said, now that we have our thoughts, right? As far as where we're going. Let's go there. Let's now go there, okay? Let us now go there. Where my bookmark at? Just had it. Oh, shit. Where my bookmarks at? 1 second. Here we go. I'm like, where my bookmarks at? So, Again, Project Bluebeam is a conspiracy theory which claims that NASA is attempting to implement a new age religion with the Antichrist at its head and start a new world order via technologically simulated second coming. Pretty much meaning they're going to fake the second coming of Christ. Some people are going to see Buddha, some people are going to see Jesus Christ, so on and so forth, whatever religion you believe in. The allegations were presented in 1994 by Quebec's journalist and conspiracy theorist Serge Monast, and later published his book, Project Bluebeam NASA. Proponents of the theory allege that Monast and another unnamed journalist, who both died of heart attacks, ironically, in 1996, were in fact assassinated, and that Canadian government kidnapped Monast's daughter in an effort to dissuade him from investigating Project Bluebeam. So I also want to show you guys a quick, in case all this sounds like mumbo jumbo, right? I'm gonna give you a quick example. A quick example, right, of Project Bluebeam. Who here is in New York City? Emil Mendez, what's going on? Who here in the chat in New York City? What happened was, what's going on? Who here in New York City in the chat? I want to show y'all something that you, if in case you did miss this. Show y'all something real quick in case some of y'all that was on Twitch, y'all know what I'm talking about right now.
Crazy, right? What the fuck?
So what you are looking at right now, of course, is Little Uzi Vert's promo. Okay? Thank you. I appreciate that. What you are looking at right now is Little Uzi Vert's promo for his new album called Eternal Atake. Jay Porter, what's going on? And Eternal Atake 2, I should say. He's promoting this new album called Eternal Atake 2. And with that, he's using the heavy promotion of Aliens, of course, right? And in the music video, he even shows that there's an alien abduction happening, if you will, in which he gets, I think, inhabited by the people of the actual spaceship, and they all look like demons. Ironically, they look like demons in the video. He also, of course, is showing up the Baphomet hands. But the bigger picture is that you see the UFO in the sky, and you literally hear it. Like, you can hear that. That's not someone's camera. That's the UFO you hear. And then you actually see the laser beam coming out of it. Now think about this, right? The fact that everyone in the city right now can see that should alarm you. Because that means that they can successfully pull off the hologram now. That's literally what you are watching right now. And if this is just a regular hip-hop rapper's ad, imagine what the government actually has. Nappy Image, what's going on? Imagine what the government has now. You seeing a toy version of what they have. Think about that. You seeing a kid's toy version of what the government has they can put in that sky right now. I've been telling people for the past 10 years, our sky is an LED screen. If you don't know what HARP is, we're going to go over HARP in a second. Mind's Eye, what's going on? We're going to go over HARP in the weather manipulation machine. Prince Cherie, what's going on? The HARP machine that manipulates weather, literally, that they've been using, I think, since like the 60s, probably even before that. So if you think we have tornadoes that just make themselves out of the fucking clouds and precipitation, you got another thing coming. If you don't know that the tornado that hit Florida in some of the Carolinas wasn't man-made, with a devil face, with a demon face inside of it. Remember that? The demon face that was inside that hurricane on the news, and they looked at it like it was nothing? Why do you have the spirit of a demon face inside of your hurricane on the news, showing the people this? This is the thing that, this is the type of shit that you really need to pay attention to. Katie Black, what's going on? It's the things that, I understand why they banned me for 2 weeks. Because while I noticed all this shit was going on, I said, all right, it's time then. It must be time now. We are nearing the end of the year. Project 2025 is a month away. Understand this, as they just said, January 20th, he will be in office and Project 2025 will be underway, if it hasn't already. Speaking of, like I said, our sky being an LED screen, notice how they said that they were supposedly going to get rid of, daylight savings time? Or have it so it only happens once during the year or something like that? Instead of twice? I mean, they said they were going to eliminate that shit, pretty much control the sky. Imagine that, right? They telling you literally, yo, we're going to just turn shit off at this time, we're going to turn shit off at that time. Look up what's going on. You saw a huge, slowly moving object in the sky recently. Turns out it was a blimp. Yeah, it might have been. It might have been. I don't really know. It very well could have been a blimp that you saw there. But as we know, the government has been telling us for what now, the past 2 weeks now, that we got aliens here. The aliens are here. Okay? They're not coming. Yeah, they're making it dark, but a cool 4:30, 5 o'clock in some places, right? This is to let you know, again, and I mean, we've seen already the faces in the moon. I've showed you guys the faces in the moon. For those that might be new to the chat, I'll bring those up real quick again. The faces that were in the moon. Let me see. Oh, here we go. This was just recently.
Watch this. Watch this.
This is how long they've been playing with us in our face. Like I said, tonight I'm here to go the distance. Y'all got the right one. See that face in the moon there?
Ain't that something? Ain't that something?
It sure is. But this is how long they've been playing in our faces. Literally. This was someone just regularly catching something in the sky at between 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. Now, of course, the flash is on, so the moon looks crazy, right? But this gentleman is literally just showing you a stone face that they have showing in the moon. Like, Project Bluebeam is well underway of cooking. It's damn near done in the oven. It's damn near done. If you have something as solid like this in the imagine if the American people were outside in broad daylight and they saw that face solid as hell. I'll give you another clip of it. I'll give you another clip of it from a different part of the world.
Today is the February 22nd, I believe.
Earlier this year.
There it is.
11:22 at night.
Okay, I got some light. It's February 22nd. As you see, I have not cut away. There's no extra clippings. What you get is what you see. What you get is what you see. What you get is what you see. That's it right there, son. That's that one right there, son. Yeah, son. So it's February. I don't want to show my face because I just want to put the word out there. Now that's the face, people. It's up there again.
Sherry, come look at this.
There's a face.
These are the American people seeing it.
Y'all see that? This is not an app. It's a face. Everybody's out here. Everybody's out here looking. We're coming out here to see. But I gotta get this. Y'all see that?
That's crazy.
That's crazy. Now, hold up. Let me zoom so everybody can see it. Hey, y'all need to call somebody. Yeah. Tell them we're out here, what we're looking at. You see it, right?
Yes.
I'm just saying, there it is. That's a nice, crispy face. Hey, somebody got another phone? I don't want to be the only one recording this.
Literally, they're up there building the entire. That's gonna be a body. That's not just gonna be a head.
Yeah,
that's gonna be a body.
You gotta get this,
That's gonna be a
we're all out
full-blown
here.
body up there.
Just out here looking, there's a dog, even the dog's tripping.
Of course, that damn dog. That dog is terrified to death.
It's kind of a face up there. There's a face. All right. Y'all see that?
So many different people
Now
saw
that's the
that.
face, people. It's up there again.
Sherry, come look at this.
It's up there again. There's the.
I was trying to find the one that I had of the family that came outside. I forgot what the hell it was in Memphis. They pretty much came outside like, yeah, what are they building up there? It's Project Bluebeam. I'm going to show you exactly what they're building up there. Because we're going to, again, watch part one of Bluebeam. Because I think the American people need to know. I need to drill this in everyone's head. I need to drill it in everyone's head. This one in particular is from 14 years
Canadian
ago.
government official is warning we may be on the verge of intergalactic war, saying, quote, the Bush administration has finally...
So the videos that we were just showing just now were from earlier in this year. This year. Like I said, one of the guys had February, I think 22nd, about 11:22 at night. And he saw that shit clear as day. At 11:22, some people saw it about 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. One of them I actually caught from YouTube, directly from. But yeah, these videos are from very recently. This one, particularly we watching right now, is about 14 years old. But this is how long they've been telling you what's going to happen.
agreed to let the military build a forward base on the moon, which will put them in a better position to keep track of the comings and goings of visitors from space and to shoot at them if they so decide.
I was introduced to the late Dr. Wernher von Braun in the U.S., the father of rocketry. In my first meeting with him, during that first 3.5 hours, he said to me, Carol, you will stop the weaponization of space because there is a lie being told to everyone that the weaponization of space is now first being based upon the evil empire, the Russians. There are many enemies, he said, against whom we're going to build this space-based weapon system. The first of whom was the Russians, which was existing at that time. Then there would be terrorists. Then there would be third world countries. Now we call them rogue nations or nations of concern. Then there would be asteroids. And then he would repeat to me over and over. And the last card, the last card, the last card would be the extraterrestrial threat.
Pardon me, I don't mean to interrupt you, but doesn't this makes sense. I mean, if in fact there are extraterrestrials and they're buzzing our planet, why wouldn't we want to take steps to defend ourselves from them?
The rapture is one of the most controversial topics in all of theology. Some Christians believe in it, all atheists mock it, and the New World Order may very well attempt to fake it. What would discourage Christians more than seeing New Agers, Buddhists, cult leaders, and corrupt con artist Christians raptured, while the Bible-believing faithful are, in essence, left behind? Why wouldn't the New World Order attempt to unite all the world's religions behind one deity by including them all in such an apocalyptic event? Surprisingly, the U.S. government actually admits to thinking about the use of this technology, though it denies it's followed through with such implementation. In an article entitled Bees on the Battlefield and Other U.S. Military Experiments, published by the British news agency The Guardian on June 18, 2007, it discusses strange government projects, and I quote, "Then there's the prophet hologram, the projection of the image of an ancient god over an enemy capital, whose public communications have been seized and used against it in a massive psychological operation." An Israeli cybernetics expert named Yitzhak Hayutman has even gone as far as to lobby the Arab world to allow him to project a holographic temple above the Dome of the Rock in an effort to summon whichever savior should take notice of it and actually show up. But does it even matter? Does this technology even exist? Or is it just crazy conspiracy theory? Let's take a look at the Army Research Lab Adelphi, Maryland's progress report from November 96 through August 97. The session number ADA 3338490. The topic? A 3D holographic display using strontium barium niobate. Its abstract states, an innovative technique for generating a three-dimensional holographic display using strontium barium niobate is discussed. The resultant image is a hologram that can be viewed in real time over a wide perspective or field of view. The holographic image is free from system-induced aberrations and has a uniform high quality over the entire field of view. Interesting. Well, we've seen the chemtrails, and there's a lot of speculation about what they're being used for. Weather control and play.
Could a strange substance found by a southwest Arkansas man be part of a government test? Well, that's the question at the heart of a phenomenon called chemtrails, now getting widespread attention. Well, tonight, KSLA News 12 investigation reporter Jeff Farrell shows us the results of testing we had done about what's in our skies.
It seemed like some mornings it was just crisscrossing the whole sky. It was just like a giant checkerboard.
Bill Nichols snapped several photos of the strange clouds from his home in Stamps, Arkansas. They begin as normal contrails from a jet engine, but do not fade away like a normal contrail. Soon after, he saw particles in the air.
You know, because we'd see it drop to the ground in a haze.
Nichols then noticed the material collecting on the ground.
This is water and stuff that I collected in bowls. I had it set out in my backyard on my dad's pickup truck.
KSLA News 12 had the sample tested at a lab. The results? A high level of barium, 6.8 parts per million, more than 3 times the toxic level set by the EPA.
According to Section 5.6 of a military research paper entitled An Operational Analysis for Air Force 2025, an application of value-focused thinking to future air and space capabilities, military brainstorming as of May.
Now, you all see what year that says, right? Presented to Air Force 2025. We're here, y'all.
May 1996 was researching, constructing, yet again, another holographic projection system. This time they were looking to implement an airborne holographic projector that would display a three-dimensional visual image in a desired location removed from the display generator. The projector can be used for psychological operations and strategic perception management. It is also useful for optical deception. The picture you see here speaks for itself. This isn't depicted as a ground-based weapon, but rather one that would project a deceptive image hologram in the air. Could the chemtrails play a role in this? I'm no scientist, so I can't tell you absolutely yes or even maybe. But the chemical connection, barium, along with the military's own documents, lead me to think in that direction. But if they've got some kind of crazy projection system, that in and of itself isn't going to convince anyone of anything. Unless, of course, God is a mute and he's going to come in complete silence. Let's face it, even the most action-packed movies are...
And that's the thing. Fury Fierce, what's going on? SL, what's going on? You've already heard, that's why I demonstrated the Uzi Vert promo, right? You literally could hear that UFO. You can hear the UFO and the sound effects coming from it, even though you're in the middle of the street. And that thing is way up there, right? Who knows where that thing was being even projected from? My sound is going in and out. I could change that a little bit. I could change that a little bit, but I'm not. I wasn't on the mic necessarily. I was just coming in just now. I paused myself. I mute myself while the video is going, pretty much.
Boring without some kind of a stunning soundtrack. Well, just in time for it to be exploited in the very same way, the technology now exists to beam sound right into your head. Strategy.com reports in an article entitled Death Ray Replaced by the Voice of God that the U.S. Navy is using non-lethal systems called LRAD, or Long Range Acoustic Device. This is being used right now in the Persian Gulf. Many small fishing and cargo boats ply these waters, and it's often hard to get the attention of the crews. With LRAD, you just aim it at a member of the crew and have an interpreter speak to the sailor. It was noted that the guy on the receiving end was sometimes terrified, even as he realized it was a large American destroyer that was talking to him. This apparently gave the Army guys some ideas, for there are now rumors in Iraq of a devilish American weapon that makes people believe they are hearing voices in their heads. And then there's the A&E television series called Paranormal State, which used a clever combination of a large billboard and cutting-edge technology to beam frightening ads directly into people who were walking near the show's billboard in the heart of New York City. The advertising website MediaBuyerPlanner.com writes in an article entitled Billboard Whispers into Pedestrians' Ears for A&E's Paranormal State that an ad for A&E's ghost-themed series Paranormal State uses technology to transmit an audio spotlight from the rooftop speakers in New York's Soho directly into the ears of passers-by. Here's a sample showcase.
So who remembers when the Paranormal State show was out? Now, only those that were living in New York City. Chill, put the Twitch link in the YouTube log. Oh, yeah. Let me do that just in case. You're absolutely right. Let me do that before I forget. You're absolutely right. Let me do that before I forget. In case they do get me. In case they do get me, y'all. In case they do get a brother. Hold on. I was doing that. I just noticed it had the I just noticed it had Witch TV. I'm like, wait, what? It's supposed to say Twitch TV. But yeah. Yeah, go to that link just in case, you know what I'm saying, anything happens, you know what I'm saying. You could definitely watch the live there, and of course they won't censor me as much. So I'll be able to do what I need to do there. That's really where I record the lives from now. Of course, we'll be showing Angels and Demons tomorrow. I'm letting y'all know that now. We're showing Angels and Demons tomorrow. Scientology will be going over on Friday. Yeah, tomorrow's Thursday? Yes, yeah. So, yeah, that's how we're going to do it. So, again, back to this. But if you do remember, why they always test these things out in New York City, because New York City is a zombie land. It's ground zero. That's another thing I've been telling people that too. It's pretty much ground zero. New York City is pretty much going to be the first place where if anything happens, any big nukes or missiles, I keep trying to tell my family, please get out of New York City. They're going to hit there first. There's the beta testing for this next PSYOP, literally. One of the last times that I went there and I was walking around Manhattan with my bag, I just got off the Greyhound and I asked, there's military just walking around everywhere in Manhattan. This had to have been about 2017, I think. No, 2015, 2016, around that time. I'm looking around and I'm like, why is there so much military going on? I asked one of the officers, he said, oh, we're doing a PSYOP training. I said, PSYOP? For what? He's like, I can't tell you. Of course he couldn't tell me, but it rang off of my head when he said, we're doing PSYOP training for in the middle of Manhattan. What's supposed to happen here? Exactly. All the disaster movies happen in fucking New York. And New York has yet to have a disaster besides 9/11. We've yet to have a huge one besides 9/11. But something tells me that that's going to be the next place they hit. Yeah, checking ID in the subway and doing retina scans on everybody. And I'm like, what are y'all preparing for here? And I thought about it. I'm like, this is going to be ground zero. This is going to be ground zero again. They are definitely going to do something here soon. Something big is going to hit here in New York City. So I said, I'm not going back. Not going back. I already know something is going to happen. And like I said, I implore my family to get out of there as fast as they can. It's so many things that point toward it. All the end of the world movies, majority of them happen in the city. Majority of them, they start with New York City. And as you saw, who did Uzi Vert decide to? Uzi Vert's from Philly. I'll say it again. Lil Uzi Vert's from Philly. Okay? He could have did that over Philadelphia, but what did he do it over? New York City. Manhattan. A UFO went over New York City, Manhattan, and you could hear it. You can hear it like it was beaming into your head. The sound was beaming into your head.
How this concentrated sonic beam works.
If you got surround sound right now, it's probably fucking with your ears. DJ Bear Gang, what's going on? Karina, what's going on? Alfonso, what's going on? I'm good. I'm good, gang. I'm good, my brother. I'm good. Already taken care of, my brother. Already taken care of. Shout out to the homie DJ Bear Gang. Once again, just want to real quick. I don't want to go off too off topic, of course, but hold on. Well, I'm not gonna mess with it then. Not too sure what's going on with that, but let me make sure this is still good. Okay, it was just that then. All right. Anywho.
There are literally dozens of patents dealing with ways of beaming sonic transmissions directly into people's minds. This was once called telepathy. Today it's just modern day technology and advertising. Yes, I understand this sounds absolutely bizarre. Where's the proof? Where is it? We've recently seen Al Gore and Prince Charles appear in holographic form, but do we actually know of any such encounter we can attribute holographic technology?
You say you're hearing every other word, Zane? Maybe it is YouTube. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what it is. Maybe it is YouTube. It might be that. It might be that. Like I said, I'm trying to keep myself mute while this goes, though.
As to having been used as part of a supernatural psyop. I believe we do.
But yeah, I was keeping myself mute while the video was actually going. But yeah, again, they have the technology now to make sure that the sound literally goes into your head, directly into your head. I'm gonna try not to move too much off the mic too. I'm gonna stay right in front of the mic here so you guys can hear me good too. Let me also do that too. I am gonna get a within these next couple of days, you're gonna see definitely some soundproof background now that I'm out here. Again, and I want to also shout out to Larry Fields, Mobile Barber. Shout out to Larry Fields that got me right. That's what I'm saying. They got me with the fresh cut right now. Best mobile barber in the land. Comes to you in Chicago, Illinois, and if you're in the Illinois area, not Chicago, if you're just in the Illinois area in St. Louis, he'll definitely take care of you. Yeah, I'm gonna speak directly into the joint, and I'm gonna try to speak a little bit louder too. So, hopefully it doesn't go in and out like that. I hope it's good. So yeah, I know it's YouTube. I know it's got to be YouTube. It's got to be, because I know they're the only place that's gonna fuck with my audio as well as my internet. So that's the thing with them. Don't Look Up was also set in New York. See, that's the thing. If anything happens right now, the first place they're going to hit is New York City for sure. That is for sure. But as I said before, we are discussing the main steps of Project Bluebeam. Now, before this continues, I would like to go through the steps of Project Bluebeam real quick. We're going to go through the actual steps of Bluebeam, just so everybody is, on the same page here. So, step one requires the breakdown of all archaeological knowledge. This will apparently be accomplished by faking earthquakes at precise locations around the planet. Fake new discoveries at these locations will finally explain to all people the era of all fundamental religious doctrines, specifically Christian and Muslim doctrines. Notice how they focus on those two right there, right? Crazy thing is, this is nothing against the Muslim community, right? The crazy thing is, Ali Carter was just literally talking about there was a Muslim community, or maybe they were faking as a Muslim community, and they were pretty much, at the heart in that particular city of human trafficking, right? The Christian, if you're a Christian, again, I mean no offense to you, if you're a Christian, of course, so. In Angels and Demons, they literally go through the breakdown of how Christianity was faked to become a manipulation of religion and a form of mind control for the American people back in the day. So this makes some degree of sense. If you want to thoroughly usurp a current way of thinking, you need to completely discredit and destroy it before putting forward your own. However, religious belief is notoriously resilient to things like facts. The Shroud of Turin is a famous example that is still believed by many to be genuine shroud of Jesus, as opposed to the medieval forgery that it has been conclusively shown to be. Prayer studies, too, show how difficult it is to shift religious conviction with mere observational fact. Indeed, many theologians avoid making falsifiable claims or place belief somewhere specifically beyond observation to aid this. So what finds could possibly fundamentally destroy both Christianity and Islam? So they're saying, what artifact could pretty much confuse everyone and say, what's going on? Why is this not in place here? So almost overnight and universally all over the globe, probably nothing yet. But that is only step one of an increasingly ludicrous set of events that Project Bluebeam predicts will occur. So they're saying that there's going to be a certain artifact that pretty much makes everyone be in question of whether or not Christianity and Islam is real. That's going to be the first step of this. Step 2 involves, I don't know why they have that crossed out. Step 2 involves a apparition of a Masonic figure who calls himself Abel and is actually a human-made deity. I don't know why that's, like I said, I don't know why that's crossed out right there. But that's pretty much what they're going to do. They're going to hold up an apparition or a hologram of a Masonic figure, whichever one you choose to see, or the religion that you believe in, that's what you're going to see. It's going to be a gigantic space show wherein three-dimensional holographic laser projections, it's not going to be 3D. This is going to be augmented reality. If you're not familiar with augmented reality, I will break that down for you tonight. Trust me. We are going to get all of augmented reality familiar this evening, just so people are not fooled, just so my audience is not fooled when they see this bullshit. Holographic laser projections will be beamed all over the planet. Again, holographic laser projections will be beamed all over the planet. And this is where Bluebeam really takes off. The projections will take the shape of whatever deity is most predominant and will speak in all languages. Again, the projections will take the shape of whatever deity is most predominant and will speak in all languages. You know what's a good example of that? Do you guys remember the Ghostbusters movie, the first one? Vimont Tujin? I'll look that up in a second. If you guys remember the first Ghostbusters movie, they literally had an example of that to where I think it was Ray. Ray fucked up when they asked him, "Yo, what choose the form of your destroyer?" And everybody was like, "All right, well, that's a trick question. Just everybody free your thoughts and don't think of nothing." And then all of a sudden it said, "Destroyer chosen." And everybody was like, "Wait a minute, we didn't think of nothing." And everybody looked at Ray and he was like, "I'm sorry, I started the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man." This is the first thing that popped into his head was the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. And what happened? A big-ass Stay Puft Marshmallow Man just started running through the goddamn city. Just destroying shit, right? That's pretty much a depiction of Shiva. Shiva the Destroyer. If you guys are familiar with the deity Shiva the Destroyer, okay? I'm going to also show you, before, so we don't get too far off topic here, because I did show Shiva the Destroyer before. This god here. This is Shiva the Destroyer. So I'm pretty sure some of you have seen this, or this, or even this, right? This is the Shiva statue. Hindu god Shiva, the destroyer and creator. Okay? Now, Shiva is the Hindu god of destruction and one of the three gods in the Hindu triumvirate, along with Brahma, the creator, and Vishnu, the preserver. Shiva's role is to destroy the universe in order to recreate it. Again, Shiva's role is to destroy the universe in order to recreate it. Now, reason why we're going to watch Angels and Demons tomorrow is because we also went over on Twitch this big boy here, the LHC, the Large Hadron Collider, and the world's most powerful particle accelerator, and is located underground in where? Geneva, Switzerland. Now, here's the thing about why I'm showing you that. In front of that building called CERN, where that Large Hadron Collider is, the Lord Shiva statue. Now, why do they have Shiva the Destroyer as a statue in Switzerland? We're not going off the rails of Project Bluebeam. Trust me when I tell you, this is very much connected. CERN is a part of Project Bluebeam whether people know it or not. You know why? Because remember when I just said that they're going to find an artifact that pretty much makes it so Christianity and Islam is somewhat fictitious? The whole goal of CERN is to find the God particle. Ladies and gentlemen, they found the God particle in 2012. They just haven't told y'all yet. On July 4, 2012, scientists announced the discovery of Higgs boson, also known as the God particle, at the Large Hadron Collider in Switzerland. The discovery was a scientific landmark that advanced our understanding of the universe's subatomic particles and the forces that bind them together. Basically, they went on the hunt for the fucking Big Bang Theory itself and found it. Found the actual atom that made the fucking Big Bang Theory. When everyone said, what? God made the Big Bang Theory, right? They found the God particle. So again, CERN is very much part of what's going on. Where else have you seen CERN? I'm gonna give you a quick other example so you're saying, wait, but I've never even seen CERN before. Let me show you where you've seen CERN before without me bringing up any copyrights, right? Remember that Spider-Man movie, Return of the Spider-Verse? The design of the Hadron Collider in Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse was inspired by the real-life CMS experiment at the CERN Large Hadron Collider. Now, you guys saw what happened in the movie, right? That shit blew a hole into the entire universe, didn't it? Yes, exactly, Katie Blapp. They are looking for Jesus DNA. They are looking for Jesus DNA. Now, I didn't see that, Emil Mendez. You said you saw a video of Lucifer being outcasted from heaven and Geneva was the location. Now, see, that's interesting enough right there. Yes, look up. They're going to fake the rapture. That's part of step 2. I should say 3. They're going to fake the rapture. We're actually going to go into that next now. So now that we have clear understanding of how step 1 is going to take place, it's pretty much them finding everything with CERN. Okay, so step 2, of course, is the representation of the deity with the large laser projections that will be beamed all over the planet. And this is where Bluebeam really takes off. The projections will take the shape of whatever deity is most predominant and will speak in all languages. At the end of this light show, the gods will all emerge into one god, the Antichrist. Now, I know some of you guys are looking like ramen noodles with an eye, right? With 2 eyes and shit, right? But I also want you to take notice to the picture of here. It's man pretty much accepting its new God. It's basically what you are seeing right now. So, again, at the end of this light show, the gods will all emerge into one God. So like I said, you're going to see Buddha over here, Jesus over here, Allah over here. Whatever you want to see you or believe in is what you will see mentally. This is a rather baffling plan because the crazy thing is, right? What if I don't believe necessarily in any of this and I'm already being able to see through it and I just see that goop thing right there? But the rest of the world sees Jesus Christ, Buddha, Islam, whatever you want to see. But I see that. Well, everyone else does not. That is a rather baffling plan, and it seems to assume that the people will think this is actually their God, rather than the more natural 21st century assumption that it is a particularly opaque Coca-Cola advertisement. Notice how they say that, right? Because they think everyone thinks of God as this guy in a white robe and beard and white hair, similar to Santa Claus, right? Evidence commonly advanced for this is a supposed plan to project the face of Allah, despite its contradiction with Muslim beliefs of God uniqueness. Over Baghdad in 1991, to tell the Iraqis to overthrow Saddam Hussein, someone somewhere must have thought that those primitive, ignorant, non-Western savages would have had television or advertising and would never guess it was being done with mirrors. In general, pretty much anything that either involves light, A, involves light, or B, has been seen in the sky, has been put forward as evidence that Project Bluebeam is real. So every bit of thing that they faked in front of you, right? Say, for example, and I don't want to offend anybody here when I say this, 9/11. When I've already said this before about the C4 that hit the building, okay? They lit off demolition at the building. They showed you on the news. The lady said, look at that building that fell over there. And the building hadn't even fucking fell yet for 3 minutes until the demolition finally went off on it. They've been playing with us for the longest with different psyops. For the longest. And such things are tests of the technology. Namely, unidentified flying objects. Existing display technology such as 3D projection, I'm going to stop calling it 3D projection, augmented reality mapping, and holograms are put forward as foreshadowing the great light show in the sky. This stage will apparently be accomplished with the aid of a Soviet computer that will be fed with the minute physiopsychological particulars based on their studies of the anatomy and electromechanical composition of the human body and the studies of the electrical, chemical, and biological properties of the human brain. They've already done this pretty much. They've already done this right here. They already know how we psychologically think through social media. Think about that. That beta test has been done on us through our emails and social media alone. Based upon what we like, we heart, we care, we go sad, we go mad, we laugh at. All of that is beta testing for pretty much learning and surveying what the human does. Each and every one of you have a person attached to you that pretty much watches what you do day to day. And writes down, or should I say types down, automatically now, ChatGPT probably just audio records everything that you're doing and saying, whatever. So pretty much a whole book library on you, just based on your email and your social security number. Every human has been allocated a unique radio wavelength. The computers are also capable of inducing suicidal thoughts. The Soviets are not where the New World Order people. Why NASA would use a Soviet computer when the USSR had to import or copy much of its computer technology from the West, it's not detailed. The second part of step two. Wouldn't that be step 3? Nope. Because step 2 is pretty large. It happens to be when the holograms result in the dissolution of social and religious order. So pretty much it's going to be a huge speech also, right? That big face in the sky that you saw is pretty much going to be one of the replicas that you're going to see of your religious belief. It's going to have a huge speech that coincides with you, as if you're in church, setting loose millions of programmed religious fanatics through demonic possession on a scale never witnessed before. The United Nations plans to use Beethoven's Ode to Joy as the anthem for the introduction of the New Age one world religion. I'm already playing music, so, right? I'm already playing music. Why not? Ludwig van Beethoven. Ode to and die, Ode to Joy. I wish they had like a TikTok or something for it, but I probably would get away better with a TikTok. Wouldn't I? Screw it. Screw it all. Screw it. I'll do it this way. It's fine. I ain't gonna be with a second. So if you guys want to look up Beethoven Ode to Joy, I implore you to look that up and get familiar with it. Get very familiar with it in your heads. Very familiar with it, okay? Because they want that to be the anthem for the introduction of the New Age one world religion. Again, the United Nations plans to use Beethoven's Ode to Joy as the anthem of the introduction of the New Age one world religion. There is relatively little to debunk in this. The most widely remembered section of the Project Bluebeam conspiracy, as the idea is so infeasible, citing actual existing communication technology, is odd if the point is for the end product to appear magical, rather than just as cheap laser projections onto clouds. This hasn't stopped some very strange conspiracy theories about such things popping up. Indeed, the notion of gods being projected into the sky was floated in 1991 by conspiracy theorist Betty J. Mills in U.S. General. In U.S. General, and CIA shyster extraordinaire Edward Lansdale actually floated a plan to fake a second coming for Cuba to get rid of Castro. So that would explain that giant, was it in Brazil? That giant Jesus Christ statue. That would explain why they even had something like that made. Because that's pretty much their ideal way of, I should say, the ideal model that they would be using, right, for something like that. Step 3 now. Step 3 is telepathic electronic two-way communication. Now, that pretty much is what we were just talking about with the frequencies that's going to be beamed inside your head, so that you don't necessarily hear a loudspeaker. It's not going to be like it's going to be a speaker where you hear the feedback and shit. No, it's going to feel like there's a motherfucker literally talking in your head. Like how you had the whisper. If you had surround sound just now when you heard that, who's that? Somebody there. It's not your imagination. If you had speakers on just now, like surround sound speakers, that shit was fucking with you just now. Because it literally was going from right to left to back here to back there. It was going all over the place in different waves to pretty much fuck with your sound. Or fuck with the sound that you're hearing in your head. It involves making people think that their God is speaking to them through telepathy, projected into the head of each person individually using extreme low frequency radio waves. Atheists will presumably hear in absence of Richard Dawkins. That's funny. The book goes to some lengths to describe how this would be feasible, including a claim that ELF, pretty much the electronic low frequency thought projection caused the depressive illness of Michael Dukakis' wife, Kitty. That's crazy right there. So pretty much they use MK Ultra and the extreme low frequency thought projection that it caused him to have caused the depressive illness of Kitty. That's crazy right there. Step 4 has 3 parts. Making humanity think an alien invasion is about to occur in every major city. I repeat that last part right there. Step 4 is where shit hits the fan. Making humanity think an alien invasion is about to occur in every major city. What did we just talk about? Guess who's first on the list as a major city? The Big Apple. Making the Christians think that the rapture is about to happen. A mixture of electronic and supernatural forces, allowing the supernatural forces to travel through fiber optics, coax power, and telephone lines to penetrate all electronic equipment and appliances that will, by then, get this, all have a special microchip installed. So think about all your remember I talked about before, all your Alexas, all your Siris, and whatever else you got, speaker wise as ASAI or Bluetooth. Anything that you got Bluetooth is going to go haywire. Anything that you got fiber gonna go haywire. Your cable line gonna go haywire. Everything that you got plugged up gonna go crazy. Just to fuck with you. It's gonna look like a Ghostbusters movie all over again. That's pretty much what they're telling you right now. It's gonna look like a big ass Ghostbusters movie spectacle. Telephone lines to penetrate all electrical equipment and appliances that will be by then all have a special microchip installed. Then chaos will break out, and the people will finally be willing, perhaps even desperate, to accept the new world order. Again, order out of chaos, a nunc conceptuus. I ain't preaching to the choir. I ain't preaching to the choir. I ain't preaching to the choir at all. I don't know why I can't spell for some reason. The meaning of a nunc conceptuus in Illuminati. He favors or has favored. Order out of chaos, y'all. Order out of chaos. And it will make us accept the new world order. The techniques used in the 4th step is exactly the same used in the past in the USSR. So to force the people to accept communism. So this is pretty much how they got Russia to accept communism. A device has apparently already been perfected that will lift enormous numbers of people, as in a rapture. UFO abductions are tests of this device. So you know how they've been telling us that they got the UFOs and they have the technology to pretty much do what they want to do with it? They don't understand it, but they have the technology to do it. Project Bluebeam proponents believe psychological preparations have already been made. Manass, having claimed that 2001 A Space Odyssey, Star Wars, and the Star Trek series all involve an invasion from space and all nations coming together. The first two, don't the third, is peaceful contact. In the Jurassic Park propagandizes evolution in order to make people think God's words are lies. The New World Order, according to Manass. The book detailed the theory in 1994 lecture. Manasseh detailed what would happen afterward. All people will be required to take an oath to Lucifer, as in the form of that RFID chip. You're going to be all microchipped. Some of you might take it, some of you might not. It just is what it is. Some of you are going to take it, some of you not. Some of you are going to want to save your families, some of you are going to think for self and know better. All people will be required to take an oath to Lucifer with a ritual initiation to enter the New World Order. Resistors will be categorized as follows. 1. Christian children will be kept for human sacrifice or sexual slaves. That's already going on with human trafficking. Is it not? I'll repeat that first one again in case you didn't hear. Christian children will be kept for human sacrifice or sexual slaves. That's going on already with Pizzagate and human trafficking. Prisoners to be used in medical experiments. Already happening. Already happening in asylums. Prisoners to be used as living organ banks. Already happening. Hell, somewhere voluntarily. Healthy workers in slave labor camps. If they are healthy by then, right? Uncertain prisoners in the International Re-Education Center thence to repent on television and learn to glorify the New World Order. So if you didn't get that fifth one right, uncertain prisoners in the International Re-Education Center. They're going to reprogram people that pretty much don't even understand English into what they want them to believe, right? Thence to repent on television and learn to glorify the New World Order. The International Execution Center. That's all it says for number 6. The International Execution Center. You do with that information what you will. An as yet unknown 7th classification. I can already tell you what that 7th classification is. Me. All of us that are not of the religious belief, but we pretty much have our third eyes open already. So being that my name is Yule, I can already see what might happen with me. I can already see what might happen with me. Oh, this is, you can just Google Project Bluebeam. This is on Wiki. This is right there in the Wiki. It's been there for ages. This has been there for ages. So let's move along to part 2 of what Bluebeam gonna do.
There are literally dozens of patents dealing with ways of beaming sonic transmissions directly into people's minds. This was once called telepathy. Today it's just modern day technology and advertising. Yes, I understand this sounds absolutely bizarre. Where's the proof? Where is it? We've recently seen Al Gore and Prince Charles appear in holographic form, but do we actually know of any such encounter we can attribute holographic technology as to having been used as part of a supernatural psyop? I believe we do. It's just a matter of looking at information. ABC News by ex-CIA spy John Kiradiv. The topic was waterboarding. Kiradiv came out in an un-CIA-like fashion and proclaimed that waterboarding is torture. On the ABC News website, in an article entitled "Coming in from the Cold, CIA Spy Calls Waterboarding Necessary But Torture," the ex-spy described the effectiveness of waterboarding on captured al-Qaeda member Abu Zubaydah, and I quote, John Kiradu, now retired, said the technique broke Zubaydah in less than 35 seconds. The next day, he told his interrogator that Allah had visited him in his cell during the night and told him to cooperate. Now, hold it for just 1 second. We believe this man is telling us the truth because he's playing nice and claiming that waterboarding is a bad thing. But look at what he just said. He's implying that when someone is tortured, they just have to say uncle, and then we stop. You would think that if Zubaydah was cracked in 35 seconds, that would mean he was spilling the beans only seconds after that. As in, okay, fine, I'll talk, please, no more. Not, oh my goodness, I'm glad you stopped. I didn't like that very much. I guess I'll go get some sleep, and I'll think about maybe telling you something tomorrow. And if we are to believe that it was indeed the waterboarding that broke him, then why would he bother telling his interpreter that Allah had visited him in his cell during the night and told him to cooperate? His interrogator knew he was waterboarded. He wasn't going to save any face with his interrogator. Remember, they broke him the day before, and they didn't get any information out of a quote-unquote broken man until the next day after he claimed Allah came to him in his cell and told him to cooperate. I'm not making this up. Watch for yourself. Pay attention to the body language. You decide for yourself if this makes any logical sense.
And that was one of the techniques?
Waterboarding was one of the techniques, yes.
And was it used on Zubaydah?
It was.
And was it successful?
It was.
What happened as a result of that?
He resisted. He was able to withstand the waterboarding for quite some time, and by that I mean probably 30, 35 seconds.
That's quite some time.
Which was quite some time. And a short time afterwards, in the next day or so, he told his interrogator that Allah had visited him in his cell during the night and told him to cooperate because his cooperation would make it easier on the other brothers who had been captured. And from that day on, he answered every question just like I'm sitting here speaking to you.
In a willing way?
In a willing way.
So in your view...
And after watching that, I can only come to one conclusion. This man was not waterboarded. If he was waterboarded, he was not broken during the waterboarding. He was broken through a psyop. If he was broken from the torture, he would have spilled the information right then and there. I think what you're seeing here is an experimental use of cutting-edge holographic technology to see if people will buy it, to see if it's believable. And just in case I'm right, I have to do what I'm
an auditor with Los
do.
Angeles Police Department.
In the Bible, Jesus was very clear about what his return would be like. In Matthew 24, his disciples asked him point blank, what is the end of the world going to be like? And starting in verse 4, Jesus answered them, take heed that no man deceive you, for many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and shall deceive many. So he warns us, don't be fooled. And then again in verses 23 through 26 we read, then if any man shall say unto you, lo, here is Christ, or there, believe it not. For there shall arise false Christs and false prophets.
That's right. So, give you a quick example of augmented reality, if you haven't already seen. Quick example of augmented reality, right? This is an example of augmented reality. Pretty much he has the glasses on and he would pretty much see that even though it's not actually there. This is Pokemon Go, was it HoloLens? This is the demo for it. And pretty much this is a cute version, I guess you would say, of Project Bluebeam, right? You pretty much are going to be seeing things that are not necessarily there because they are holographic projections. But imagine when you're able to actually touch these holographic projections. The fact that you can now touch these holographic projections makes it able for the holographic projection to possibly touch you and make you feel like you're being touched by something that is not actually there. They can put a hologram around an exoskeleton They can use you or I as an exoskeleton, for example, right? They can put us in a soldier suit that pretty much looks like a mocap suit. Imagine you seeing an alien right in front of you, right? And you think it's an actual alien, but it's actually a guy in a mocap suit. The guy in that mocap suit pretty much looks like an alien to you because they're using the augmented reality projection. The augmented reality projection is pretty much going to make you believe that something is there that is not actually there. So augmented reality is a relatively new technology that, along with virtual reality VR, is quickly changing the world in various areas, including learning, entertainment, product presentation, and engagement with others. AR and VR fall under the umbrella of extended reality. Get it? Extended reality. So beyond what you and I are used to looking at. XR, which had a market value of $106 billion in 2023 alone, with experts anticipating it to grow to $472 billion by 2028. The substantial expected increase over the course of just 5 years indicates the rate at which AR is expanded and becoming a part of the everyday life, with job opportunities growing. AR and VR careers are becoming popular as brands use AR to showcase and market their products. Augmented reality technology integrates graphics, images, audio, and text into the physical world. It adds value to three-dimensional world by allowing you to see how something may look, smell, feel, or even sound, without it being physically held or seen. Again, without it being physically held or seen. Companies may use augmented reality for entertainment, education, or marketing products. Matter of fact, did add in China. Let's just try that, right? Let's just see what they have here for an augmented reality ad in China that they might have. Oh. Augmented reality, let me see. So I'm pretty sure you guys have seen the building. Oh, here we go. 3D billboards. This is an example of augmented reality. Where it looks damn near real almost. Almost looks like it's coming at you. Now, like I said, we just saw, for example, we just literally saw an example with Lil Uzi Vert and how he did, right? We saw the UFO pretty much. That's augmented reality, ladies and gentlemen. That is an upgrade of augmented reality. Now, I can't show it because, of course, they'll give me copyright again, but I will show you a picture of someone that is perfect for what I'm talking about. This was the very first time that they showed you Project Bluebeam right in your face. And I shit you not, I pissed myself almost. Remember the Tupac hologram in Coachella? And how real it looked? And everyone could see it and hear it? That was their first time pretty much playing with Project Bluebeam right in your face with entertainment. And no one blinked an eye today. No one thought about anything. No one thought about anything. But like I said, I damn near pissed myself. This was them telling us right then and there, like, hey, man. It's about to hit the fan. Shit's about to hit the fan. So, what else do we need to discuss here? Chemtrails, how they work. Chemtrails, pretty much what's going to be laying. It's what's going to be laying down the LED screen in the sky for us, right? So chemtrails, according to various kooks, are a currently ongoing mass aerial dispersal of unknown chemicals by the powers that be, they say. Excuse me. For some vague but definitely nefarious purpose. This is one of the youngest among the more established conspiracy theories, having been first discussed at least as early as 1996 and is sadly still going strong. Despite the complete lack of knowledge of basic meteorology of evidence of compelling motive or indeed of basic plausibility. Such conspiracy movement has been stimulated in recent times by the growing presence of condensation trails from commercial and military jet planes. However, this is easily explained by the growing number of flights and also by the fact that jet engines are increasingly more efficient over the years, which translates directly in cooler exhaust gas and thus in more frequent contrail formation. See an explanation of it in the body of the text. Of course, they show it right here. Pretty well, yeah. Influence of propulsion, efficiency on contrail formation for a comparison of new and old aircraft performance on this respect. Now, I'm gonna just do this, right? Let me just do this for you. Let me do this for you.
He said something that really hit home about this phenomena of chemtrails. And, you know, when I was a kid, I used to see these trails in the sky all the time. And I said, oh, that's cool. A jet just went over. And then you started to see a whole bunch of them. And the next thing you know, everybody in your neighborhood was fighting and arguing, and you didn't know why. Okay, and you really didn't know why. I mean, everybody was fighting.
Interesting, right? You didn't know why everybody was fighting. But it was pretty much because those chemtrails were being used to change the feelings and mind of the human being. That's what the chemtrails are doing. The chemtrails are pretty much causing everyone in his neighborhood to argue and have a certain feeling of each other. Now, you heard that one of the steps of this is to cause, Daily Bread, what's going on? Is to cause mass deception and trigger certain feelings of people, right? Trigger certain angers of people, right? That's one of the parts of Project Bluebeam. It's one of the forms of control that they're going to use for Bluebeam. So take heed to that. If you are suddenly having a change of mind and feeling into a bad mood out of nowhere, it probably is not because it's out of nowhere. It's because they are doing it to you. Take heed to that. It's because they are doing it to you. It's not because you are having a suddenly bad day. It's because they are doing it to you. Understand that, okay? So, let's move forward.
He said something that really hit.
They call this the Noahian spiral. Was a spectacular aerial phenomenon seen in the sky from parts of Norway and Sweden on the 9th of December. Now, notice the numbers too, right? 12/9/2009. Notice the threes, if you will. It was most probably caused by a test launch of a Russian ICBM that failed spectacularly, or did it? The term Noahian spiral has been adopted to refer to any real image which looks so spectacular that it is assumed to be photoshopped, computer generated, or faked in some fashion. They're talking about this. When the Noahian spiral happened in the sky. But as you can see here, does it not look like there's a projection coming from somewhere? Does it not look like there's a projection coming from somewhere? Look closely to this right here. Look closely. You see the beam of light right here. To the far right, on the bottom. You see the beam of light. Does that not look like there is a projection going into the sky? Again, ladies and gentlemen, they have been playing with this type of technology for quite some time in front of us. We have to take heed to it. We must take heed to it. We must take heed to this. Let's see. I know I had something else. Just making sure I cover everything on the itinerary as far as Bluebeam going. Okay. I just wanted to make sure I had covered a good portion of what we're going to be. Like I said, I'm going to be drilling this information into y'all brains and leading up to. Let me get into this chat here real quick. So, aliens found in the ocean. However, you niggas better report to work on time. Yeah, that's right. That's right. That reminds me right there. That reminds me. It reminds me. Where is it? Where's my video at? Was it 107? I did it. Trying to find my interview. Where's my UFO lawyer? Aha.
Now, upon the issuance of that statement by Jose Gabriel Funes, who was the director of the Pontifical Observatory at the time, Jesuit priest, well, I contacted him and flew to see him.
In 07.
And that's right. And I said, look, we need to talk.
We
need to talk about this now. And he said, look, let's be really clear. He said, we're not talking here about the discovery of some single cell life form under some frozen sea on some distant moon in some far off galaxy. He said, we're talking about another highly intelligent, highly technologically developed, but distinctly non-human species right here in our own Milky Way galaxy. That's what he said. And so I've known since that time that the time has arrived, for this serious conversation among the laity. And I've been trying to figure out how to get Francis, I stay over at Doma when I'm in Rome, where Francis lives. He doesn't live in the Vatican. He won't live there for safety's sake.
Wait, he doesn't?
No, he does not. He lives in the Doma, which is a separate part.
Can we look that up?
It's on the Vatican grounds, but it's not.
Oh, so it's on the grounds.
It's not in the papal apartments.
Okay. I used to live a quarter mile from the Vatican.
Yeah.
Right there. Yeah.
So, and so that's where he was in the Doma. And so the bottom line is that I've been there. I've talked with Johann Ix, who's the head of the archives, to try to talk him into letting us see these documents. Again, they still have not agreed to do that. But the bottom line is the church knows that it has to start mobilizing right away to start preparing people for what's getting ready to come. And that's happening now. There's huge activities going on now. Lots more. They deployed an entire carrier group down off.
A carrier group?
Yeah. The Nimitz carrier group. They deployed it down off the Baja to monitor the site down there. There's an underwater base for sure, right off Guadalupe Island, down underneath the sea.
Can we Google Guadalupe Island so we can see that?
Yeah, there's a specific spot.
You said this has to do with the church?
No, what I'm saying is that there are things happening now. There's such rapid developments that are going on now that they now know that there is this location right off Guadalupe Island, between there and Baja.
Where that island right there on the screen?
Which one is Guadalupe?
Unless we just lost the screen.
Is Guadalupe Island. Yeah, down there's Baja. One of those. It's right there. It's which one is Guadalupe?
The little thing right there. Yeah, that thing.
Yeah, that would be it.
Got it.
Okay, so is that Guadalupe
Yep,
Island? Yeah, that's the one.
like Guadalupe.
Right off that island, right there, beneath the sea. They deployed the entire the Nimitz carrier.
That's David
group.
Fravers.
Yep.
Right.
And they monitored over 100 sightings of UFOs coming and going down into the ocean right there and going down to the bottom of the ocean. And they were monitored by the submarines. That's right, monitored by the submarines underneath the water, coming and going, so that there's virtually certainly a base there. And that there's another base outside of Sedona, Arizona, over by. There's a place called Secret Mountain Wilderness over there. That's just totally desolate area. There's a base there where where the craft are, and so there's a number of them high in the mountains and remote areas of the planet, and that they're here now, and that they're extraordinarily distressed. You can tell about the state of affairs right now.
Of humanity.
Yes.
Do you think that some of them possibly could be something else? And to be specific on that, I'm not saying all of them, but that some of them could be some form of advanced 40 to 60 years ahead DARPA weaponry or something like that we aren't aware of, meaning like this one outside Guadalupe, if they're going into the water right there, so close to this island where we have carrier ships and stuff like that, on something like that, more than like, say, a Sedona, Arizona example, I more think something like this at Guadalupe could involve weaponry as opposed to actual alien UFOs, if you will. You think that's possible?
No, you should phrase it that way. Is it conceivable? There's a lot of things that are conceivable, but that's not how you really conduct an investigation. What you do is you work from probability projections, and you work out from that. That it's quite clear to me that facility off Guadalupe is in fact a base, an extraterrestrial base, because the way that the carrier group has been acting, that they dig in and monitor that thing and monitor it under the water and keep track of it and keep records of what's going on, that would not be being done with one of our own weapon systems, but the one in Sedona, on the other hand, there's U.S. military personnel all around that place, and there's helicopters. They're Apache helicopters and others that are disposed, and they accompany the coming and going of these big triangles that fly in and out of there. And that they're witnesses that we've interviewed that say that there are tall whites or tall grays there, along with what they call the mantis people.
Mantis people.
The mantis people are huge, 7 feet tall, extraordinarily skinny, thin, kind of bowed over people. They remind people of praying mantises. This particular species,
like Sean Bradley.
No, not that bad. No, some people refer to these people as insectoids.
Insectoids.
Yeah, it's kind of a pejorative of them, but they remind people of praying mantises, and whenever they're seen with tall grays or the short grays or the reptilians at all, they seem to be in charge. They're constantly giving telepathic commands of how do they deploy, et cetera. And
when have they been seen?
That they've been seen there in that Sedona base.
Yeah, but
for
when?
example. Let's see here. We're in 2024 now. It was probably 2018 or so,
And who saw
2017. That Melinda Leslie is one of the witnesses who has seen them.
Who's she?
She's a person who's an abductee that was taken into custody by them in a MyLabs operation.
A MyLabs operation.
It was a military operation, masking as an abduction. Stephen Greer has talked about that. It's one of the things that Stephen and I agree upon, that there are such things, that there have been efforts undertaken by United States military personnel to mimic abduction, UFO abductions.
Okay, so this was a mimicked abduction.
That's right.
That she was abducted
That's right.
for.
That's right. And she was taken to that base.
What base?
The base outside of Sedona. The one by the secret mountain wilderness.
That's
area.
not S4.
No. That's in Nevada.
Okay.
That's S4 in Area 51. S4 is about 11 miles away from Area 51, but they're both in Nevada.
So she's taken to this base by Sedona.
And what they're doing is they were doing experiments trying to discern people's psychic abilities. That there's a major program that's going on in the United States military, because their pilots were unable to fly these things because they're flown by telepathy. The craft are flown by telepathy.
Yeah.
And the pilots, the kind of people that are trained to be pilots, are not telepathically trained. They're extraordinarily linear, very, very intense, scientific, logical, positivist type folks, in that they aren't able to communicate with the craft. And so that there's been a whole program to try to recruit people, to try to find out people who are psychic, to see whether they can actually be involved in helping to run these craft, because the craft are run psychically by the ETs. And so unless they have ET people working with them, which it appears they do at the Sedona base, that the ET people are the ones that actually pilot the craft, the large craft. But that they're given U.S. military escorts with F-18s and the major helicopter gunships actually protect them when they're flying. Some of these.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay, so she allegedly saw them in 2017, 2018 when she was taken to this base, and they were down there and they were being interrogated.
They were being experimented with. They were asked to do these experiments of psychic experiments.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what they were doing, and there's lots of information about that now, about this weird program that they've got going of trying to recruit people that they think are psychic, because their normally trained pilots are not able to fly these things.
It's almost like a Men in Black kind of thing, like when we see in the movie where they have the base and they go in there and all the aliens are chilling and stuff. That's effectively a similar parallel to what's being described.
There's lots of weird science fiction movies all over the place, picking up little pieces of this stuff. That what we do is that I tend not to go to those kind of movies, but because I'm kind of staying focused on.
You're too wired in, Danny.
Right. I'm trying to stay focused on what it is I know. That's why it's easy to remember these things.
Yeah.
Because I don't garble it up with a lot of other stuff.
Yeah.
I don't read fiction. About these things. I just refuse to do that. I refuse to go to movies that have bad galactic politics, that are that are into bumming people out about making up terrible things about the ETs and stuff, like they're here to eat you and all that stuff. You know, you don't want to poison your mind with that. I don't go to vampire movies or werewolf movies or disembowelment movies. I stay away from those kind of
You're
things.
not a Twilight guy?
No. Well, no. So there's lots of information about this now, and there's this extremely interesting phenomenon that has started, as you know, that back in 2017, December 17th of 2017, you have the front page story in the New York Times that Leslie Kean and Blumenthal wrote, exposing the existence of a top secret program inside the Pentagon engaged in professionally investigating the UFO phenomenon. Okay, and they reveal that, and they had some things a little missed in that report.
Like what?
Yeah, like for example, that they thought ATIP, the Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program, was a lot more formalized than it really was. But Lou goes at some length here. Is in
Your client, Lou Elizondo.
Lou Elizondo has written this book. It's for the last 3 weeks has been the #1 bestseller on the New York Times bestseller list. That he goes into detail now about how ATIP kind of evolved out of OSAP, the Advanced Weapons Special Access Program, and how he was doing this kind of informally, and et cetera. But so he's clarified all of that in his book.
We had him in here for episode 237.
Right.
It was a very fascinating conversation. I think we're trying to do another one in November because there was a lot still on the bone there. One of the things that I think, and I want Lou to talk about this in November just so he can kind of once and for all make it clear. But one of the things I think that's confused people in the past with how he's explained it, because again, there was a lot of moving parts here.
Yes.
Is that he's said things like, oh, I wasn't a part of OSAP, because it seems like he's making the assumption that OSAP, when he was first being read into this stuff in 07 or 08, OSAP was transferring into what became ATIP. Thank you for watching the video, guys. If you haven't already subscribed, please smash that subscribe button and check out this clip's full podcast episode.
Yep. All right. So, pretty much, you guys heard where exactly they have the alien bases underground and who they have down there. They pretty much have already deployed humans, soldiers, down there to pretty much monitor the activity and talk to these guys. So think about that. That was a UFO lawyer that they call him. Pretty much a lawyer for these beings and somewhat an intermediate for the humans and these beings here. This is the thing. They already have the technology of the real thing that is here. They already have the knowledge from the actual beings that are here. The reptilians are pretty much controlling what is going on underneath. They just aren't telling you that. They just are not telling you. It's downright despicable how they just keep the information from. Now, furthermore, here's the crazy part, right? If I'm going to look at Guadalupe Island, if I'm going to look at Guadalupe on the map, right? And I bring it out. You see this huge body of ocean that is right here? Of where it is? The North Atlantic Ocean, ironically. The crazy thing is, right? See how close it is to here? Now look. Baja, California, and the Gulf of California is right here. Just on the other side. Now look at this big body of water here, right? And then look at these little tiny islands that are in it. You can't tell me that they are not planning something. We're not even planning something that they don't have shit underneath these bodies of water. I'm telling y'all. Around these bodies of water, there's definitely something underneath. Furthermore, if we go just a little bit further down, and I'll bring it out a little bit. Do you see how big Antarctica is? This is what I mean by, I would like to know, what are you hiding in Antarctica? I want to know what you're hiding in Antarctica in these stations. What's on the Black Island? What's there? Reason why I want to know. This is the biggest reason why I want to know what's going on in Antarctica. They said there's a crashed ship there. They've already showed us a crashed ship many times. The pyramids buried underneath in Antarctica. This is Antarctica. This is all Antarctica. This is all Antarctica. See, they still have that picture of the alien ship that I showed you guys. Oh, here it is. The alien ship that was buried in Antarctica. Again. What are they hiding in Antarctica? Why are they not telling us about there? Why are they purposely hiding what's going on there? Look at this. I'm telling you. There's if we're only tipping the tip of the iceberg with things. Only the tip of the iceberg with things, y'all. The shit that is in Antarctica, that's what I want to know, yo. What are you guys hiding in Antarctica? Because there was a TikToker that got, was it the Nephilim? It was in I forgot what it was called, the Central Park or something like that. Nephilim Midnight. They said there were giants walking through. It's a giant inside of this, in an iceberg in Antarctica. One day we will know what's really underneath that ice. One day we will learn. One day we will truly learn. Because Antarctica is pretty damn big, y'all. That's the thing. Antarctica is fucking huge. It's huge, yo. Let me see what those stations at that I saw. Ooh, where the stations? 'Cause they had little stations that were planned around here, and I just looked at the names. I was like, look, these all like biblical names almost. You see? McMurdo Station. I don't know, y'all. Y'all tell me. Like I said, I understand that they trying to censor me, so I definitely understand. Definitely on phones and computers. You're absolutely right. You are absolutely right. So, another thing I might as well whistleblow on. Like I said, I'm going there. FEMA concentration camps. That's the 7th classification that I don't think he even noticed. So, I mean, you can kind of say the execution center would be the FEMA concentration camps, right? So, FEMA concentration camps exist in the mind of a particularly loopy bunch of conspiracy theorists who believe that mass intermittent facilities have been built across the continental United States by the Federal Emergency Management Agency, FEMA, in preparation for a future declaration of martial law. The camps allegedly come complete with barbed wire fences straight out of World War II, boxcars for moving people around, and plastic coffins for burying them. Now, why does America think that? Why does America think that? Maybe because we have many different forms of it already being built. Maybe because we already have them being built. And no one's saying anything. They have them being built in preparation. I mean, there are some states already in agreement to martial law. You mean to tell me they're not? The diagram of likely locations already. Oakland, California. Vandelberg, AFB, California. Fort, what does that say? Hakashua? I don't know if I'm saying that. Arizona. Then you have Arkansas. Fort McCoy in Wisconsin. Fort Drummond, New York. Indiantown, Pennsylvania. Fort A.P. Hill, Virginia. Fort Benning, Georgia. The Air Force Base in Florida. In Miami, Florida. Interesting enough, GTA 6 is about, I think, Miami, Florida mainly, right? Isn't this something, though? Let's see this here.
Research on FEMA concentration camps.
Sorry for the
in the United States of America. I did a study on Rex 84. That's REX 84. You can go to Google and do a search on that. What was surprising to me was the amount of concentration camps we've already have in the United States.
Oh, look who comes up. FEMA when you put in RX 84. Ironically. Oh, there's just the map again. Okay. It pretty much just pulls up the map. Oh, there it goes. That's what I was looking for. Oh, this is where we go. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 10 of them, pretty much. It's going to be 10 of them. in those specific locations. This is what they plan pretty much. And this is where they're going to be holding everybody that pretty much doesn't want to go with the New World Order. That's what's going to be happening right here. New Eyes, what's going on? This is pretty much what's going to be going on when you don't comply with the New World Order and you don't take the RFID chip. You don't take this little guy here. Now look at this. They already be selling it. Wholesale RFID implant microchip. Look at that. RFID chip tag glass transponder for animal injection. They already put them in animals. Got a computer chip implanted in my hand. Here's how it went. Look at this. This is a LinkedIn article. Everything you need to know before getting an RFID implant. This is 2022. What if you could open your front door or unlock your car just by raising your hand? Never having to trouble yourself with your COVID pass or remembering where you put your wallet. What about sending your LinkedIn profile or a dancing monkey gif to a phone just by holding it? Look how they advertising it, y'all. Look at this. It's a whole ad. And what about turning on a coffee machine by pointing to it? This is not the future anymore. Wannabe cyborgs with little RFID chips under their skins are living with us. Thousands of people have implanted the tiny devices already under their skin to be able to have simpler access to buildings or other people's phones. Do you want to join the cyborg community? Here's what you should know about the RFID chip before you implant it in your body.
Hi, this is Dr. Bertalan Mescu, the medical futurist, and today I want to talk about RFID chips and whether or not it's a good idea to implant one.
So you have something else that's really interesting in the newsletter about people in Sweden putting implants, microchips, right,
Yes.
into them. We've seen something like this here. There was a company that
In
they're
Wisconsin,
right,
yeah.
so they could get stuff out of the vending machine with
Yeah.
these microchips. So what's happening in Sweden?
In the past couple of years, Sweden has seen a growing number of people getting microchips implanted under their skin. It was once a very niche thing among the most dedicated biohackers, but now it's becoming mainstream in the tech-savvy and open-minded Scandinavian nation. And I'm a proud geek, so I wanted to get one too. RFID technology has been around for a long time. It is a tag or a label that can exchange data with a reader through radio frequency, or RF, hence the name. There are thousands of applications for it. We use them in our credit cards, we tag our luggage with it, and we implant our pets with it, so they always carry contact information in case they get lost. It's a simple but wonderful technology. What's new is that now we can implant it in our body too. I asked my community if anyone has done it, and Erik Orlovsky, a Swedish anthropologist, came through, so I asked him what his experience was like.
Hi, my name is Eric, and I recently returned from my 3 months thesis fieldwork in Sweden, researching microchips, and now I'm here to answer a few questions about them. About popularity, I think it's important to understand that there's only about 5,000 people in Sweden with an implant, and out of a population of 10 million, so they're relatively popular but not super widespread. Much of the relative popularity, I think, stems from Sweden being a very tech-optimistic culture. So there's this willingness to try out new technologies without necessarily being worried about kind of the big risks or the kind of big things that could go wrong. I have a chip. I got it right here about 3 months ago when I started my research. And I got it for the same reason that I think many other people I've spoken to have gotten one, and it's curiosity. Obviously, where it stems from is different depending on the individual. And in my case, it stemmed directly from my involvement in the research.
So curiosity and tech optimism are what you need with a little openness? It's like he's describing me. I went online to order an RFID chip from one of the most popular online resellers. They are called Dangerous Things. No red flags whatsoever. And in 2 weeks, they delivered this package. As you open the box, you can tell right away that this is not a toy. They immediately warn you not to meddle with anything to keep it all clean and sterile. But what we do have here is one Next implant, one Vivo-Key implant, 2 injectors, 2 pair of procedure gloves, 4 antiseptic wipes, 2 gauze pads for post-injection care, and bandages. Despite their ominous name, Dangerous Things takes the procedure very seriously, and so should you. This is a small operation. Can you imagine that there is no surgical protocol for the injection of these things? And while technically a piercer could do the job, it's highly recommended to do it with a surgeon. And Dangerous Things does help you with this, as on their website they show you professionally trained partners who are equipped to implant these chips. But what I think is really going to make a difference in terms of chip implants going mainstream is how easy it's going to be to set them up. So I asked the founder from Dangerous Things about what to expect.
You know, the older implants, like the Next that use the NTAG 216, you do have to program those with data that you want to either share or tell it to redirect somebody to a website or something like that. It's a process of getting an app on your phone or using software on your computer and programming it and kind of managing that way. Vivo-Key products are meant to be plug and play. So you just load the app and follow the instructions, and then you can change the behavior of the chip. When other people scan it, you just change that behavior in the app. So if you want it to go to a URL or share your Vivo-Key profile information, you just set that configuration change in the app and it's done. Beyond that, for Vivo-Key, you know, when you want to, for example, like let's say you want to integrate Vivo-Key authentication into a WordPress blog or a discourse forum or something like that, you load the plugin, you configure it, and then from that point on you can use the Vivo-Key instead of a username and password. So you would just go to the blog or WordPress or whatever, say I want to log in with Vivo-Key, you get a little notification on your phone, you scan your chip, and then you're logged in.
Seems fairly easy. With one of those things, you have the option to customize it more, and with the other, it's as simple as it gets for the basic applications. And at this point, I really had to Google what it's like when they inject it.
I'll just take a nice big deep breath in and exhale, release. There we go.
It's in there.
It's in there. Pretty quick and easy.
It's not too bad, right? Apparently it feels like a bee sting. A really big bee sting. And just like that, in a few seconds, you can be part of a yet small group whose members are technically cyborgs. And since I'm a huge fan of science fiction, I find this pretty exciting. But as a physician, I wanted to know more before I was about to commit to a medical procedure altering my body, right? So I prepared a few questions for my surgeon friend, Dr. Zsolt Varga.
Besides the ethical and privacy-related concerns, RFID implants are thought to be medically safe. Millions of pets are already tagged this way, but it must be noted that no long-term large population data for human use is available at the moment. In my opinion, it should be carried out in a clean environment, in aseptic circumstances, preferable by someone with anatomical knowledge and experience in performing basic medical procedures. The full recovery can take up to 4 weeks, but it does not interfere with any daily activities. Medical risks of any other implants are presented, like wound complications, tissue infections, allergic reactions, or post-procedural pain. Latest studies have shown that cancer caused by RFID chips is virtually non-existent in humans and negligible for animals. The removal is a bit more complicated than the insertion. After marking the implant site, local anesthetics should be given, and the device can be removed through a small skin incision. That could be closed either by sutures or other sutureless wound closure methods. I suggest that the removal should be performed by a medical professional.
With all these pieces of information, I thought the rewards outweigh the risks. At least for me. With this chip, I could operate doors, unlock my phone, or even carry my boarding pass at airports. It's awesome. I just needed to get the all go from my wife as we discuss every body-altering technology that I plan to use. Honey, I want to implant myself with a... So that happened. There in my dreams of becoming a cyborg. Apparently my wife sees a different risk to reward ratio. As all RFID chips are hackable, depending on what kind of information I store on my chip, hackers could get access to it. For example, as I said, I could have my phone password right here and unlock it with a wave of my hand, or have all my medical records right here with me at all times. But do I really want to have that information exposed like that? I'm not comfortable with the fact that hackers could access it fairly easily. Another problem is the limitations this technology has right now. It can have a widespread application. You can program a chip for a lot of things, but one chip can only do one thing. And even though the next implant from Dangerous Things has 2 chips in the physical space of 1, it's still not a lot. And even though these chips are passive, meaning they have no internal source of energy and you don't have to change batteries, in case you do want to remove them, as my surgeon friend described, it's way more trouble than implanting them. It requires an actual surgery. So as of now, my RFID enthusiasm is put to rest. The plan is that I'm gonna wait for the tech to catch up with my vision for the future. Because I believe in a few years, chip implants will have better security, bigger capacity, and more customization. We are going to have multiple applications in a single chip. And we're going to see universal standards for digital identification systems and finally surgical protocols for implantation. And further down the line is when it's going to get really exciting, when these things are going to have sensors that will be able to track vital signs to keep our health in check all the time. And with better security, they could revolutionize medical care. Instead of medical data being stored at various hospitals, my GP's office, and at the pharmacy, I could have the chance to establish my own healthcare identity and become the steward of my own data. And imagine all that in a medical emergency situation. The first responders arrive and they only have to scan your hand to get to know every valuable medical information about you. They can spare crucial minutes and really focus on your care. That's when these chips are really going to start changing lives. And that's when I'm going to pitch this idea to my wife again. Because then, the rewards of this thing will truly worth the trouble. Until then, patience. If you like this episode and would like to hear more about body augmentations and real-life cyborgs, click on the link here or subscribe here.
Yikes. 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 You hear it, ladies and gentlemen. You can get your very own, step right up and get your RFID chip implanted in your hand. And you heard it takes a lot more, takes a lot more extensive surgery and care to get it out than put it in, right? Notice how they say that? It's a lot more harder to get it out than put it in. That's what she said. But it's this RFID chip, man. The mark of the beast. This is what they want everybody to have. This is what they want everybody to have at the end of the day. Gotta have that RFID chip if you want to get into the new world religion. You got to have this already. You got to have it already. If you don't, I'm sorry, you got to go the other way. You got to go over there. You got to go to that guard to take you to the camp. The camp over there in Fort McBride. Yeah, the camp over there. Walk right there with that guy at. Or you want to step right up and get your RFID chip? Okay. Sign your name on the dotted line. Oop. I didn't mean to pluck some blood from you. This is what's gonna happen, y'all. That's what I said. Some of us gonna get it. Some of y'all not. I shall not. It's not me. Need that. I'm okay. I'm cool. SpongeBob said, I am my head out. I'm cool. I don't need that. I don't need to be scanning nobody's phone with my telepathy. I don't need to be scanning nobody's phone with opening my door with my hand and nothing like that. I can turn a knob and do that shit. This is laziness now. That's the thing. They are pre-programming the human being to be lazy. That's why another reason why I hate these goddamn iPhones. Another reason why I hate the iPhones. They pre-program you to be lazy as shit. Cause you so used to speed. You so used to that's what they said about me and my daddy. We want tomorrow today. We want tomorrow today. Don't be in a rush. Enjoy. But with these RFID chips, you can start your car by waking up and saying, yo, vroom, nod your head to the right. That's what they pretty much advertise. And in Sweden, thousands of people already have it. Apparently, this is not just Sweden. Apparently, this is getting global. This is from 2022, this article. We talking about almost 3 years in. I'm sure it's more than thousands that have it now. With an advertisement like that. I'm sure way more than thousands have it. Be clear. It's different. Medusa, what's going on? Zanab Najari, what's going on? Cut Kenda, what's going on? Who else stepped in the building? Who else stepped in the building? Just making sure I catch everybody as they come in the door. But yeah, man. It's different out here now. It's different out here. You didn't get any notifications? I apologize. They don't like a brother at YouTube. As you hear why, they don't like me. they don't like me. I know why, but they don't like me. It's okay. Because I'm still Clip Style. I'm still Mr. Clip Style. Speaking of which, we might as well get into some fun now. I thought Neuralink was the mark of the beast. They both are. They're the same thing. They're the same thing. There's still chips in you. Look at this. There are different forms of this chip. There are different forms of this chip, my brother. There's many different forms of this chip here. Look at this. There's different forms of this chip. Not that chip, of course, but there's different forms of this chip. I don't even know what languages this is in AliExpress, but apparently they're selling it. This is on Alibaba for 47 cents. Go to AliExpress for one. $52. There you go. Amazon got you. Yeah, Amazon got you. You can clip your dog with one. They were just telling you about that now. You can get your dog one. Oop. Yeah. There you go. It's messed up out here, man. It's messed up out here. Look at that. You got the scanner just to see if the damn chip is there. Look at that. Damn shame. Damn shame what they doing to dogs already. Even worse what they doing to us. Even worse what they doing to us. 1,300 plus microchip implants. Stock photos. I can't believe it. So many different people have done it already. Here goes the ad again. What's this? Ow. Look at this. Look at this, y'all. More than 3,000 people have inserted now. More than 3,000 people have inserted now. This is just 6 years ago. Forget 2022. Unique identifier that always carries you. There's no risk that you'll lose it. And while some are praising its convenience, others are worried about the risk of infection and question what data and who is able to use it. Unbelievable. There's an example of it. They can keep an eye on you. I'm not scared right now because I don't think our current technology is good enough to hack a chip. Yes, it is. A microchipping just can. Oh my gosh, this is crazy. This is insane. This is a whole city. And this is, oh my goodness, this is the city of Sweden right here.
But now there's a whole new sort of evolution going on. I'm here to meet some of the thousands of people in the country who are adapting their own bodies, who are in
blood clot. Blood clot. I'm not even going to do it because I know how YouTube going to get me. That's how YouTube going to get me right there. But whew, we're going to watch this one on Twitch one day. We're going to watch that one on Twitch. I'm going to tell you right now. Yeah, we're going to watch that one on Twitch because I'm not even going to. I ain't going to hold you. I know how YouTube going to try to do me on that. So that's how they're going to get me. I'm going to say that one for the Twitch. Uncensored. Because Ross Clyde, they really are getting people. They really are getting people. I can't believe it. I can't believe it, y'all. I'm shocked. I'm shocked at how many people done got it. I thought it was like maybe 2-3 people in the world. I ain't know it was a whole civilization. Excuse me. Bless me. I ain't know it was a whole civilization that had it. That just blew my mind. That blew my mind. An entire civilization that has this. I'm perplexed. That's got me. They got me with that one. Yeah, they got me with that one. It's cool. It's cool. Yeah, we're gonna move right along. Cause it's getting scary out there, y'all. It's getting scary out there, y'all. Alright, so before I get into Mr. Meek Million, J. Cole's allegedly involved with Drake. Jay Williams, what's good? What's good? What's going on, my brother? We are living in the end times. Yes, we definitely are. We definitely are. Yes, they're turning themselves away from God already. RFID chips are already a thing in Sweden. Are already a huge thing at that. It's crazy out here. It's crazy out here. I haven't been to the thing in so long over here.
Uncle Luke believes Kanye, Diddy, and Jay-Z have crossed over to the other side.
Is Tyreek your leader? Hello? My mom is from the Bahamas. And my dad is from Jamaica. So no. I am Black American. I was born here. Okay? Is that okay with you? Huh? All of a sudden when Kamala Harris ran for president, everybody wanted to have a conversation about blackness. Look what that got y'all. You can't speak for Black America. Man, get off here. How do I block you? I don't even want you on my page. You're blocked. Bye. See you later. Let's talk about Cardi B. That thing say blocking. You are being blocked. Bye. Let's talk about good stuff. Wait. Bye. See you when I see you. Go to your...
Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe.
What's my thoughts on the fight? I thought I blocked him. There go another one. My thoughts on the fight, I thought the fight was... I was just praying something bad don't happen to Mike Tyson, but I love Mike. That's my guy. But I just think we are in a very bad place when it comes to boxing, that we got to resort to that. 70,000 people, millions of people around the world, including me, blew up Netflix. Netflix shouldn't be doing that unless they can handle the traffic. Start glitching. The fight itself, I'm a real boxing fan because I used to box. I boxed Golden Glove.
Now, furthermore, I already spoke my piece on the fight and everything like that. Yeah, the fight was rigged. We already know that. I was talking about it on Twitch too. Like, I would have made bank, but we can't bet in Missouri. We can't sports bet in Missouri. I would have made bank because I called it already that Jake Paul was gonna win by decision. But anyway, Amanda Serrano's got robbed. That ain't necessarily what I'm playing this for, but.
Puff Daddy was not a villain. He was one of them. Kanye West was one of them. Jay-Z was one of them. Biggie Smalls, a villain. Tupac, a villain. We all are villains. And until you people realize that, as black in America, you are the villain. It's black and white. You're the opposite of white. We will always be in competition with them. Y'all don't hear me. So when they subscribe to the TV and you look at the TV and you see primetime Deion Sanders every day, they going at it. He ain't this, he ain't that. He gonna finish last in this conference. He the worst thing in the world. Oh, he don't know how to coach. He don't know how to do this. Of all the Power 5 coaches, all 365 of them, he does not get the same smoke. Nobody gets the same smoke that he gets. And he's one of 3 black coaches in Power 5. Mike Tomlin, they question him because he changed the quarterback. There are quarterbacks in all 32 teams getting switched out every week. How dare him change the quarterback? He's a villain. He's a black coach. Nobody ever questioned any other white coach in the NFL for switching out a damn quarterback. Everybody has something to say. Oh, what is he doing? Ben Roethlisberger. Oh, what is he doing? Teddy Bridge. Not Teddy. What I'm talking about? Teddy Bridge. I love Teddy. Terry Bradshaw. What is he doing? How dare he change the quarterback? Russell Wilson. And Russell Wilson out there lighting it up. We are the villains, people. Then they find people who look like us and they put them on a platform. They put them on a pedestal because they can control them. Y'all don't hear me? I'm preaching today, boss. Welcome to the sermon. I am in my pulpit right now, giving y'all the understanding of who y'all are because y'all don't know who y'all are. Most black people don't know who they are. When you're black, you're the villain. Don Shula, Dan Marino. Mercury Morris was the villain when Don Shula was the coach. And who was the good guy? Larry Zonka and Jim Kick. Mercury Morris run the ball all the way down to the end zone. That's why I'm not a Dom fan right now. And you have a lot of black guys
Okay, so apparently that was captioned there. One of them, Uncle Luke, calls out Jay-Z, Diddy, and Kanye West for being Illuminati. So pretty much he's not saying that they're Illuminati, but you got to read in between the lines of what he's saying, especially with the whole villain talk and that they're villains and that we're all villains. He's pretty much saying that, yes, we all sold our souls for our rich and fame. That's what he's really trying to say. You see the same people every day in the media because they sold their soul too. That's what he's trying to say. He's really trying to say that everybody pretty much has sold their ass in some type of way for their rich and fame. Point blank, period. That's pretty much what he's saying right now. So in correlation to that, I figured that would be a great introduction to our next topic here. Because our next topic involves someone that people are saying has done so to speak. So recently, it said that there were some wild nights. A property manager recalls the aftermath of a birthday party Diddy threw for Meek Mill, says he found blood-stained sheets, lubricant, cocaine razors, underwear, and more. Well, neighbors, details from behind the scenes of Diddy's famous parties continue to spill, and his legal troubles progressed in the case of a property manager from the past mansion party thrown at Diddy is telling it all. Jason Haidt, I guess that's his name, Jason Haidt. Property manager told Daily Mail that the aftermath was disgusting. He says that Meek Mill's 27th birthday party ended with bloody sheets, underwear, left behind drugs and alcohol. There were broken bottles of alcohol, used condoms, blood on the beddings, powder, razor blades by the hundreds, lubricant on the dressers, and marble floors. I found panties, bras, and even 2 iPhones in the bushes behind the bowling alley, Jason said. He said the party took place on May 3rd, 2014, and featured masked dancers and naked women covered in sushi. This sounds like a freak off to me, y'all. Renting the property costed $25,000 for 24 hours. Several celebrities like French Montana and Lil Durk were in attendance. According to Haidt, the party was running rampant with drugs. He remembers being contacted by Diddy's personal assistant in April 2014 ahead of the event. He says they inquired about the rental but also had several requests, which included new double-sided door locks. Interesting. They requested that all interior bedroom door locks were to be ordered new and left unopened for their arrival for security purposes, as they would need to supervise the installation. Interesting. And both keys were to be given to, guess who? Mr. Combs directly and nobody else. The party apparently ended around 3 a.m., which is when he found what he originally thought was powdered sugar, along with all the other contraband thoughts. Wow. Wowzers. In Meek Mill's response, to be clear, Meek Mill shares message about Sean Combs after a viral No Diddy video, which before we even do that, let's see if we can find that. 27th birthday party. Meek Mill. Are there any videos of the 27th birthday party at all? Which one is this? Which one is this? It just says birthday party 10 years ago. Ah, that was 2014, right? They said 2014, didn't they? Yeah, they said 2014, I believe, right? Yep. May 3rd, 2014. All right. This is 10 years ago. On the dot. I'm not going to play any of the audio, of course, but you can see this is the party. Let's see what we see. I'm not, like I said, I can't play the audio, of course, because I know they're going to have a lot of Meek Mill music. I don't necessarily see anybody with sushi on them, though. I can't see the back with the dancers. Okay, so this is the food. Lil Durk was there. Mama Meek. Okay, so this is the infamous birthday party bash. Okay, so this is when they got, there we go. There we go. Now we're at the house. Now we're at the freak off. There we go. Now we're at the freak off, y'all. Now we're entering the freak off. Here we go. Look, wait, let's go back. Here we go. Now we're getting to the nitty gritty. So here's the club. And then from the club, they would go to the house that was rented out for $25,000 for the 24 hours. Okay. House party. Here we go. So this was rented out for $25,000 for his birthday. Yep, there goes the masked dancers. I don't see anybody dressed in sushi still, but of course the pasta's being made there. There goes Travis. I'm seeing there. Okay. Oh, look at this. Look at this. Look at. Oh, wait a minute. Bumbaclot. What is this? What the Ross is this? You see her eyes almost in the back of her head almost? Oh, this is the girl that was dressed in the sushi. Oh, we are at freak off level here. We at freak off level here. Oh, we are definitely at freak off level here, y'all. We definitely at freak off level here. Unbelievable. Look at this. Look at, oh boy. Oh man. Oh, we definitely in freak off land here. We are in freak off land. Yeah, we in freak off land here. Look at the three amigos. Hold on, we got to get Kenny Cameron on the three amigos: French Montana, Meek Mill, and Diddy. Look at Slow Bucks. If you remember how that the Summer Jam with Slow Bucks got jumped by 50 Cent, now I'm starting to really pay attention to why Slow Bucks got jumped at Summer Jam by 50 Cent. We can relive that moment very shortly, but crazy. Would you look at this? Can't really hear him, but you know, this. I guess it was a wild night. I guess it was a wild night, according to the property manager. I guess it was one wild night, according to the property manager.
The fuck out. I don't drink. All the champagne was spiked, son. Like, all the champagne was spiked. Everybody was passed the fuck out. I don't drink. So I was playing that shit off like I don't fucking drink. I smoke, nigga. Like, I smoke and I had my own weed, but like everybody was passed out. Yo, Diddy had that man in the room. Look, yes, I put my ear to the fucking door and I brought the phone because Diddy started going in overdrive. I ain't know what the fuck was going on, but I just heard balls slapping against ass cheeks. I heard niggas struggling to take dick. I heard niggas being like, yeah, daddy. When he started all that daddy this and daddy that, and then I heard some hollering and struggling like, yeah, I kept the phone there and I recorded all that shit because I was like, this nigga Diddy rich. So I'm finna put the squeeze on and get me a couple dollars and just ain't, you know what I'm saying? Just nobody believed that was really Diddy beating Meek back in. But now y'all motherfuckers believe the video, right? Right? Somebody throw me a couple dollars back. All the champagne was spiked, son. Like, all the champagne.
Well, Juju, what's going on? I ain't got to play the audio here, but y'all remember what audio he talking about? Y'all remember exactly what audio he talking about. We ain't got to go through it. But Meek Mill would respond and say, Meek Mill has seemingly taken a stance regarding Sean Diddy Combs' current circumstances. Now, the crazy thing is, this nigga was literally talking about some no Diddy. We're literally just talking about some no Diddy.
What's up? Yeah, y'all already know how we playing out this motherfucker. This real life. Real life shit, nigga, man. No Diddy gang, Meek Mill in real life. Don't ever disrespect me, you heard? Talk that shit, Meek.
You heard what he said.
Yeah, Meek.
No Diddy gang, right? No.
How we playing out this motherfucker. This real life. Real life shit, nigga, no Diddy gang, Meek Mill in real life. Don't ever disrespect me, you heard? Talk that shit, Meek. Yeah, Meek.
Of course, Prince, look at that. Justin Combs says, shake my head. Unbelievable. He's no Diddy gang though, right? But however, on Wednesday today, Meek Mill seemingly clarified where he stands when it comes to Diddy's situation on Twitter. They putting black men in jail off stories. I wish Puff well. He's a black man, and I hope he didn't do most of that shit they saying he did. Why y'all so scared to talk? Y'all must got shit in the closet. My past in the streets. My past in the streets. It's nothing to hide. Oh, well, they have a picture of these two. And anyway, they put in black. Okay, that's just the same caption pretty much. He puts, so he put a picture up there. Okay, never mind. In several posts before and after his Diddy name drop, Meek Mill popped off about the media's alleged representation of black men, himself included. He called out specific outlets that cover content targeting black audiences. However, Meek really went in regarding a circulating report that claims there's a video of him at Diddy at a Diddy-sponsored party. He accused publications of fueling a war on black men. Let's spend a full week on how media is betraying black athletes and artists in America. It's looking very, very sad, kind of like an attack. The biggest weapon against the black man, it even got us hating each other. I can't believe that he even won he wanted to spend $100,000. Meek Mill wants to pay a team of investigators $100,000 to investigate his name allegedly being tied to Diddy's case. Now, when I heard this, right, I kept this in the back of my mind as far as, what if he actually goes through with this, right? If he's paying $100,000, right? Paying $100,000. Really? What do you know? Well, what do you know? Just what do you know? Influencers discussing Diddy case claim private investigators are questioning them now. What do you know? What do you know? Already, y'all. They're approaching influencers to spill the beans on celebs connected to Diddy. Look at these guys. Look at these guys here. Pretty much walking up on people.
Private home asking about influencers? This is very uncomfortable, you guys.
I don't know why. I'll explain.
No, you're at my home.
Okay, so you don't want to talk to us then?
Have I broken some law?
Absolutely not.
And you have the thin blue. This is frightening. I think. Can you guys step away from my home?
Well, we're in a public street, so the answer is no. But I'm really not trying to give you a hard time.
Why are you here? What do you mean? You're showing up at my house.
We're very nice and respectful, and we will be. I just have two quick questions for you, and if you want to be interested in it, great. If not, I'll have a nice day. We're not.
What is this? This is odd.
So
you have to admit this is very weird.
It always is, and people always ask us the same question. I'm happy to explain it to you. So
What?
Very simply, we were just hired to speak to a few people that do, have a lot of followers, stuff like that, on different platforms.
What is this about the Diddy stuff I report on?
Somewhat, yes. Not necessarily Diddy stuff, but people are involved in just stuff like that. So basically, a very simple question is are you paid to influence that's stories like that in any direction?
No, not at all.
That's all we wanted to know. Because if the company is, they're looking into people who are.
Are you guys gonna pay me for this visit? Like, this is frightening. Like, I'm super. You have to admit, if I came to your house, and like, I thought this was a joke. I thought I have a friend coming over business right now. Like, this is extremely weird for me. I have 100,000 followers. I'm not making any money.
That's one of the reasons why we're here, and that's the question that we're asking. If someone contacts you, say, in the last 6 months, and is paying you to influence in a certain way.
No.
Either one way.
Is it illegal if somebody would have?
So the answer is no.
Okay, I wish somebody would have. I'd love to be making real money off this.
2 seconds, I'll explain to try to make you feel better.
I mean, this is terrifying.
Very simply, if somebody was paying you,
right?
The company we work for are just asking that question.
Right.
If somebody was, they would just be willing to possibly offer you money to know who and see what's going on. To
try to. Well, they're paying me $1 million. Will you guys give me $2 million? I'm joking. But seriously, this is very odd, you guys. You guys came to my house. It makes me feel slightly good that maybe I'm getting some notoriety for this, but this is crazy.
So again, I'll tell you why.
Okay.
So apparently there's tons of things influencing going around.
Okay.
A huge percentage of it is all bots, not real.
Interesting.
certain
No,
things
I'm
do it.
real. Anything I report on about Diddy is coming from what other influencers, what news articles, and I'm a comedian. I put my spin on it, but nobody is paying me to do
And
that.
I've seen it and I like it.
Yeah. Thank you.
It's very simple that if it was the fact that somebody was paying you,
Right.
people who were getting some negative, talk,
Would be interested
would be
in-
interested
yeah.
in finding that out and possibly going action either against that person
Right.
or
Am I at any danger for doing this?
zero. The only time you would ever have any liability is if you said, "I know for a fact this person raped it."
No, yeah. No, all of I'm satire. I'm a comedian.
And you
You know.
say allegedly.
I always say, like, wow, I'm shocked that this is, I've never had fans come visit me. I'm just filming you guys because this freaked me out.
I'll tell you why.
Okay.
Because everything you do is real. And so many things are just bots.
Right, right.
So we got a list of about 15 people. not just us,
Interesting.
that only post themselves.
Wow.
And we're just trying to find out if people are paying for the story to be
Okay.
pushed.
Got
or-
it.
Listen, everybody talks about it.
Okay.
I'm not
Okay.
an influencer whatsoever.
Right, right.
Guess what? Me and my friends talk about it once in a while.
Right.
Oh, you got you
Right, and I understand I'm not looking to spread misinformation, and TikTok docks you very quickly. If I've had videos of like, oh, that sounds threatening or this and that, but well, can I get your guys' information just so if I have something that comes up, I can contact you guys?
So to be honest, like
No?
we can't give out a company because
Okay.
they don't want to be linked to anybody.
Got it.
My name is Robert James.
Okay, Robert.
Peter Deegan.
Okay,
And-
cool.
but
This
very
is crazy.
simply, Agreed. And again, we were gonna sit out here. We were gonna,
No, that's fine. Yeah, it's my cat Crunchy. I hope my wife is impressed. I mean, I just hope I'm trying to be a successful comedian. I would love, but it is freaky that you guys like come to my back door. This is kind of crazy.
I don't know where the front door is.
I mean, I know, but even though my house, even though you guys are able to just find me, is crazy. I mean, I guess it's not.
Well, just Google anybody's name.
I guess I just didn't expect anybody was looking for me at all. So
No, that's all. So
Okay.
So apparently you're doing something right because you're getting at least.
yeah, because you guys are visiting me. I wish you were two hot ladies visiting me. No, you guys are pretty yourselves.
I apologize.
Okay, well, thank you guys very much for. Is that it?
No, that's all.
All right.
If you're like so and so's paying me.
Oh,
and
right.
this much money, we can talk. I
No,
can put you in touch
and
with
and
somebody.
I'm also too. I'm a truth seeker, so I couldn't be paid off to have somebody having me. You know, it depends how much money. I guess my wife. You know.
I'll
Would,
be honest.
yeah.
The last few we've talked to,
Uh-huh.
everybody's just doing what they want. It's they do it because they love it. They
Yeah.
enjoy it,
And honestly, it's getting people to pay attention. So on TikTok, if people are paying attention, if I'm doing I did a No Diddy music video. Nobody cared about that. But if I get on and talk about something.
You're not bad.
Hey, thank you. Yeah.
Beyonce wants this jelly. Whatever.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Well, okay. I appreciate you guys coming by. This is odd, but maybe I'm onto something.
Again,
Okay.
if you are getting paid, then
Yeah.
maybe
We just want to know by who, and if it was
Interesting. Interesting. Okay.
That's all.
Interesting. Well, contact me again if there's some real money to be made because I need to make it. So, all right. Well, thank you guys. This is crazy. Take care. No, it's okay. It's okay.
See, a shit like that, you start setting up the Home Alone booby traps. Watch too much reality. What's going on? I'm trying to tell you, yo, this shit like this, you set up the Home Alone booby traps for niggas like this. Like, bruh, what you even doing there? What you doing? Why are you in my house? First of all, come talk to me. Come talk to you want information? Come talk to me, okay? Come talk to me. I have what you need. I got more than just his info. I got what you need, okay? Just let me know. Just let me know. Let me know. I got you. I got you. I'm trying to tell you, I got you. You need some information. You know what I'm saying? But furthermore, no. Ain't taking no damn money for this shit. No. I'm taking no damn money to slander nobody. Don't do that. Because we don't do no slander here. We don't slander nobody. We don't do defamation of character. We do keep your third eye open in your head on a swivel. Because fact is never fiction. That's what we do. That's what we do over here. Fact is never fiction, baby. So, like I said, when I see and hear people are paying $100,000 for investigators to investigate his name allegedly being tied to Diddy's, I think about things like this that you just said like maybe a month ago, right? Maybe a month ago you said that. Now influencers again ran up on their doorstep. or because somebody wants to try to figure out why their name is involved with the diddler. Right? You want to know why, right? I got a question for you. I got a question back for you, Meek. I got a question back for you, my brother. Tell me what happened the night with the midget. I just have that one question. If you tell me what happened on this night while you was like this with Quavo and him at the yacht party on New Year's Eve, right? Because Fabulous never partied, right? Until he supposedly came on the yacht. I don't know what happened after that. But anywho, tell me what happened on that night, as well as what happened on the night you had matching shirts with Diddy and the midget. Just explain to me that. You don't need $100,000 to pay investigators this. I just need, we ain't got to pay nobody to know this. You know what happened the night you wore a matching shirt with him and had a midget in between. Because the midget don't want to tell us what happened that night. The midget got questioned by TMZ, and he don't want to tell us either. So, please, excuse me. I forgot his name. Midget Mac. They said Midget Pack. I don't know why they call him Midge Pack. This gentleman right here. So he got questioned pretty much about the matching T-shirts, right? He didn't want to say anything to TMZ about what happened that night. Understandably, you didn't want to talk about what happened that night. So I want to ask me, what happened that evening, Meek? What happened? Just tell us all what happened the evening you decided to wear a matching shirt with Puff. I just want to know. And why was the midget there, and why the midget don't want to tell us what happened? I just want to know. You when you ready to tell us? You don't need $100,000 to know this. You don't. You just need to tell us what happened that night. That's it. You tell us what happened that night and your birthday party. That's it. And remember the New Year's Eve. You ain't got to tell us about no other party you was with him. Just that one. Just them three. Just those 3 nights I want to know about. In their ending results. That's all. That's all. We don't need $100,000 of investigators for that. I'm just saying. So, speaking of investigations, apparently there's a so-called win for Puff, but not really a win for Puff. Not really a win for him. Not when they're saying that they have probable cause to actually search the cell. I don't necessarily think that that's, I'm just saying. There's been a few filings since that day, huh? All right, we're going to look at a couple of them. We gonna look at a couple of them. Especially D. We gotta look at D. No Diddy. We gotta look at D. Exhibit D. Exhibit A. Alright, not this one. Oh. Is it that one? No, it's this one. Now, of course, some of y'all have already looked at this. Shout out to Surprise Witness TV, who pretty much broke this down. Shout out to Surprise Witness TV. BJ Investigates. Gotta love her channel. Okay, so argument. Under the Bail Reform Act, the district court has discretion to reopen a bail hearing if information comes to light that is both new and material to the detention question. United States versus Zhang. Specifically, a bail deterioration may be reopened before trial if the judicial officer finds that information exists that was not known to the movement at the time of the hearing, and that has material on the issue whether there are conditions of release that will reasonably assure that appearance of such person as required and the safety of any other person in the community. However, a bail hearing should not be reopened on the basis of information that was available to the defendant at the time of the hearing. And I guess they were just citing different cases, I should say. But this is, of course, about Mr. Sean Diddy Combs. About Mr. Sean Diddy Combs. Did I pass? Okay, I'm at the argument. Just making sure. So November 16th, courts in the Second Circuit have found that new and material information of Section 314 purposes consist of something other than a defendant's own evaluation of his character or the strength of the case against him. Truly changed circumstances, something unexpected, or a significant event. Moreover, because the Bail Reform Act states only that a hearing may be reopened if new and material information is presented, it leaves the decision to reopen a hearing to the sound discretion of the district court. Therefore, even if the defendant's arguments for reopening the hearing met the standard, which they do not, this court may still decide in its discretion not to reopen the hearing. So pretty much if they have reason, like they have probable cause to search everything, if they have reason to not want to reopen this bitch, they will not reopen it whatsoever. That's just what I say right there. So let's just move on down to the actual discussion right here. So the court should reject the defendant's attempt to reopen the bail hearing based on the same information he presented to Judge Carter. A defendant's motion to reopen the bail hearing should be denied for the simple reason that he has not presented any information that was not known to him at the time of the bail hearing before Judge Carter. As set forth below, the defendant asserts that the court should consider new information relating to the defendant's relationship with victim 1 and his communications with various witnesses as a basis to reopen the bail hearing. But these allegedly new facts are the very same arguments made by defense counsel and rejected by the district court previously, dressed up with recently produced discovery, because those facts were well known to the defendant before any discovery production, and because the defendant relied upon them in his prior hearing, he cannot recycle them here to revisit the sound determination made by Judge Carter. The defendant is a danger and risk to obstruction and must be detained. Now, of course, it's because they pretty much realized that he was witness tampering at this point. So defendants are rehashing of the same personal attacks he made against victim 1 before Judge Carter is not new information. The defendant claims that communications between the defendant and victim 1. Now, I think victim 1, I don't think if people realize victim 1 sounds like it's Cassie. If we're talking about victim 1 sounds like Cassie. Honestly, which were recently produced in discovery as part of the defendant's electronic devices and accountants, constitute new material. The defendant claims that the recently produced text messages reveal a loving, at times toxic, long-term relationship between two adults who decided mutually to break up. This is definitely Cassie. Okay, so this claims is nothing new. Defense counsel made these exact points previously and even referred to text messages and communication at the September 17, 2024 hearing. After noting that he had looked through more text messages and emails than he cared to, defense counsel, this is a 10-year relationship. See? This sex trafficking is a 10-year relationship. These two people were in love. That will be made abundantly clear by the way they speak to each other, by the way other witnesses describe their time together, and by the circumstances of how they broke up. They were in love, but Mr. Combs wasn't always faithful. At the end of the day, there was mutual philandering, and victim number 1 ended up marrying the trainer that Mr. Combs got for her and had 2 children. That signaled the end of the relationship. There is nothing about the content of the text messages between the defendant and victim 1 that was not known to the defendant at the time initial hearing. Furthermore, in presenting recently produced text messages, the defendant cherry picks to paint a misleading picture. ignoring numerous other messages in the record between the defendant and victim 1, documenting the defendant's physical abuse of victim 1 and his threats to expose recordings of freak-offs. You know what sick and disgusting shit I was reminded of the other day? You forcing me to admit you were going to leak some freak-off shit at, let me see, okay. At 10, I have a black eye and fat lip. You are sick of thinking it's okay to do what you've done. And I still have crazy bruising. This is pretty much Cassie talking to him. I turn my head for a second and you get fucked up and you drag me down the hall by my hair. I have bleeding cuts. You hit me in the head 2 good times. When you get fucked up in the wrong way, you always want to show me that you have the power and you knock me around. I'm not a rag doll. I'm someone's child. This is the shit that they found in his... These are the text messages they found. They're his. Moreover, despite attaching lengthy text messages between the defendant and victim 1 on various dates between August and November 2018, the defendant omits messages produced in the same thread about the defendant's violence. The defendant also rehashes his attacks on victim 1's motives in bringing a civil lawsuit against the defendant, suggesting the victim 1's allegations against the defendant were merely attempts to obtain financial windfall from Mr. Combs. Across multiple bail hearings and in the instant brief, the defendant has made clear that his litigation strategy is to personally attack victim 1, stooping to any depth to attempt to undermine her credibility. Setting aside this questionable strategy, none of the information that purportedly undermines victim 1's motives was known to the defendant at the initial bail hearing. Again, defense counsel made all of these arguments previously. Now, the crazy thing is they put in there as victim 1. Now, why are they not just saying Cassie, considering she already settled? I'm thinking about that as well. That's the wild part right there. They're just saying her as victim 1, like we don't know it's Cassie right there. So victim 1's motives was unknown to the defendant at the initial bail hearing. Again, defense counsel made all of these arguments previously, and these arguments have no bearing on the question of bail. The purpose of a bail motion is to determine whether there are conditions that will assure the safety of the community and the defendant's appearance in court, not to entertain the personal attacks on a statutory victim. To the extent defendant tasks issue with victim 1's credibility, a trial is the appropriate forum to address that. What does it say? Okay, so it's another citing right there. Address that holding. What does it say? Okay, this is more just citing right here. Okay, information was not sufficient grounds to reopen a bail hearing. Okay, so address that sufficient information was not, sufficient enough to grant the bail hearing. So the court should reject the defendant's request to reopen the bail hearing because the defendant disagrees with the government's use of the term victim. So let's move on down here. The defendant next accuses the government of misleading the court as to the nature of certain of the defendant's communications with another victim. Victim 2. Now, I wonder who this is now. Victim 2, I guess, is Rodney Jones, in my opinion. The government did no such thing. The defendant's primary point of contention appears to be the government's characterization of this individual as a victim and quibbling about how to label victim 2, an individual to whom the defendant continues to pay a significantly monthly sum. Still paying some money to. Okay. So victim 2 is someone he's still paying money to. Let's keep that in mind. So the defendant does not present any information of grapple with the actual evidence. The messages and recordings between the defendant and victim 2 on which the government relied at the initial bail hearing are clear on their face and consistent with the government's representations. The defendant was leveraging the significant financial benefits to cause victim 2 to adopt his narrative of their relationship. Whether or not the defendant agrees with the characterization of victim 2 as a victim for purposes of the criminal case, the communications highlighted by the government indicate that the defendant used financial coercion to attempt to feed victim 2 a narrative that was consistent with his defense story. So this is definitely this definitely sounds like a little rod. Theory at odds with the contemporaneous text messages sent by victim 2 by the defendant and others. Let's see. Just threatened me about my sex tapes, where I am heavily drugged and doing things he asked of me. Okay, doing things that he asked of me. Yeah, this is definitely a little raw that they talk about here. Describe victim 2's sexual trauma. In light of the defendant's continuing financial support of victim 2, it is not the government, but rather the defendant that is misleading the court. That's crazy right there. So he's trying to say that Little Rod is pretty much taking money under the table from Diddy as bribery money just to keep quiet. So the defendant contacts with witness demonstrate at the threat he poses to the integrity of these proceedings. The defendant attempts to spin his contacts with witnesses. So this is witness 1 that they're going to talk about here. So the defendant attempts to spin his contacts with witness, including witnesses served by or with grand jury subpoenas as evidence, rebutting the government proof of obstruction fail in their entirety. For example, the defendant claims that the government misled the court and concealed the actual content of the communication between the defendant and a witness who was served with a grand jury subpoena in June 2024. This is definitely Don Richardson here, June 2024. As initial matter, the nature and substance of the defendant's communication with witness 1 was known to the defendant. So this is people that pretty much he's already had contact with, that he's spent time with in his career as well. You can tell these aren't defendants from the Busby cases or anything like that. So defendant at the time of the initial hearing, but more importantly, these contacts, including the fact that the defendant evidently deleted the messages from his phone, confirmed the government's proffer at the initial hearing and refute statement made by defense counsel. So pretty much he's already witness tampering by deleting those messages and trying to pretty much disguise what he actually has been saying. Specifically, phone records show that between the end of 2022 and January 2024, witnesses occasionally contacted the defendant by phone without any response from the defendant. That changed in 2024, June. Witness 1 was served with a grand jury subpoena on June 19, 2024, and after contacting the government was appointed counsel on June 25, 2024. Beginning of June 26, 2024, only after witness 1 had been served with a grand jury subpoena and had counsel, the defendant initiated contact with witness 1. So he pretty much got in contact with Dawn and was trying to just pretty much say, hey, I understand. Same thing he was doing with Cassie, but of course Dawn wasn't trying to hear. That's why she still went through her case as well, which the defendant attempted to obscure by initially calling witness 1's wife and later communicating with witness 1. Oh, wait a minute. This might not be Dawn here. This isn't Dawn. So witness 1. Okay, let's see here. Witness 1's wife. Let's think about this. Witness 1's wife later communicating with witness 1. Calling witness 1's wife and later communicating with witness 1 over a VoIP phone service, basically. So VoIP service would be phone, including by text and a calling lasting over 7 minutes. Okay. So I'm trying to put my thinking cap on here of whose wife does he know? Calling witness 1's wife. Who is witness 1? Because witness would be on his side, wouldn't it be? No, not necessarily. Witness 1 would be someone on, okay. Call us witness 1's wife and later communicating with witness 1 over the phone service, including by text and call lasting over 7 minutes. The following day, phone records indicate that witness 1 spoke with counsel over the defendant, even though witness 1 was represented by the counsel. He and the defendant continued to directly exchange text messages, and defense counsel also spoke directly with witness 1 again on July 8, 2024, following witness 1's testimony in the grand jury. on July 2025. The defendant called the text witness 1 again. Called and text witness 1 again. So pretty much this is witness tampering right here with him calling the witnesses and texting the witnesses. But who is witness 1? Who would witness 1 be, y'all? I wonder who witness 1 would be. I'm curious now who witness 1 is going to be. Very interesting. Very interesting. Witness 1. We're talking about July 25th, 2024. The defendant called and texted witness 1 again. The defendant's repeated contact with witness 1 despite his apparent knowledge that witness 1 was represented by counsel and had received a grand jury subpoena undermines defense counsel's previous denials of the defendant's interference in the government's grand jury investigation and shows that counsel cannot stop the defendant from contacting grand jury witnesses. This concern is amplified by evidence indicating that the defendant appears to have deleted his messages with witness 1. Although the phone records confirm that the defendant using a particular phone number and witness 1 exchanged multiple text messages from June 2024 through August 2024. There were no such messages recording from the defendant's cell phone associated with that phone number. So I'm trying to think who would be married that knows Puff. If we're talking about witness 1's wife. The only person I could possibly think of, well, not only person, there's two people I can think of. If we're talking about someone that he knows, and we're talking about notifying someone's wife, it's two possible names there. There's Ashton Kutcher, and then there's Machine Gun Kelly. But then again, I can't say Machine Gun Kelly because he's not married, so there has to be Ashton Kutcher because he's the only one that's married. If we're talking about witness 1, excuse me, my guess is gonna be witness 1 is gonna be Ashton Kutcher on this one. If we're talking about someone's wife, he was trying to contact Mila Kunis possibly. This is just a wild guess. Witness 2. So the defendant also claims that the defendant's contacts in September 24 with an individual represented by counsel who wanted to make public statement. Is my mic on right there? Let me see. Make a public statement were not in any way obstructive because the defendant and witness 2 were previously in frequent contact. However, the contact between the defendant and witness 2, who were bandmates, stopped in March 2024. And from the timeline and the context of the defendant's contacts with witness 2, it is clear that when the defendant reinitiated contact with witness 2 in September 2024, his purpose was to ensure that the witness 2 was on his side to pressure witness 2 to make public statement denying allegations of violence by the defendant. So this sounds like Kalina right here. The defendant reached out to witness 2 on September 11, 2024 and sent her a copy of the lawsuit against the defendant in which witness 2 named was mentioned several times. So this is definitely Kalina because she's the only one that did that interview recently on pretty much downplaying everything that Don was saying. The defendant then called witness 2. They spoke for nearly 6 minutes. After reading the lawsuit, witness 2 called the defendant back at his request and they spoke for over 4 minutes. So evidently the defendant and witness 2 discussed witness 2 drafting a statement as immediately after the call. The defendant told witness 2 in a text message. The defendant then asked witness 2 for her attorney's name from September 11, 2024 through September 15, 2024. The defendant and witness 2 exchanged multiple text messages and had multiple calls at least 128 phone contacts in total. Jesus Christ, he called more times than a call center in 3 days. 128 phone contacts in total between witness 2 and him. So between him and Kalina, it sounds like. So allegedly. I'm going to say this all allegedly. Throughout the phone contacts, the defendant repeatedly asked witness 2 when she planned to post her. Witness 2 ultimately made a statement about the lawsuit via Instagram post on September 13th, 2024. So that pinpoints something right there. Wait a minute. Ultimately made a statement about the lawsuit via Instagram post. Wait a minute. Wait a second. What was that? Bingo. There's our witness 2. Foxy Brown. It's not Kalina, it's Foxy. It's Foxy. Bingo. There's our witness. There's witness 2. Then after the defendant was in custody, BOP investigators recovered the following notes from the defendant's cell during a pre-planned nationwide sweep of BOP's facilities. XE, the strong interference to be drawn from the defendant's communications with witness 2 and his personal notes is that the defendant paid witness 2 after she posted her statement from the timeline, the content and the context of the communications between the defendant and witness 2. The defendant's clear goal was for witness 2 to draft and post a statement. Even after the defendant knew that was witness 2 had counsel, he continued to reach out to her directly, a fact that clearly concerned Judge Carter, and rightfully so, because now you're pretty much, again, witness tampering and playing in the judge's face when he told you not to. When the Judge Carter told you not to. She told you not to. The defendant had multiple phone contacts with witness 2 up and including March 2024. It changes nothing about the damning timeline and content of the calls in September 2024. These communications are another example of the defendant using manipulation, influence, and the power to persuade witnesses to support him. So, pretty parched there. So, based on the forging, the defendant has not demonstrated that he is entitled to reopen the bail hearing under 18 U.S.C. So in the law cited by the defendant provides him no support. Otherwise, the defendant's reliance on, United States versus English, misleading. So pretty much so United States versus English. Misleading. There's not a citing right there. A citation by the defendant suggests that when cases are reassigned to new judges, the court should review the record de novo when considering bail motions. So pretty much they should throw everything out. It's not how that actually works. Just because you're, bullshitting around, tampering with shit, doesn't mean we're going to actually throw shit out because they went and ramsacked your shit and found everything. So the Second Circuit's holding was not that broad. In English, the Second Circuit held that the district judge before whom a bail motion is properly made should consider the subsection factors and make the determinations required by 3142 ID at 320 emphasis added. Thus, the inquiry is 2 steps. First, the court must determine whether the bail motion is properly before it pursuant to 18 U.S.C. 3142, that citing again. And two, only if the court finds if the affirmative should the court consider the 3142 factors. Here, because the defendant has not satisfied the first prong, meaning that he pretty much was violating by talking to the witnesses and tampering with shit, the court need not even consider the factors. So The cases cited by the defendant to support his contention that his court has inherent authority to reopen a bail hearing are equally misleading. So this is why I didn't even want to read the other shit right there, because I should say the other whatchamacallit, the new one that got filed. Was it not today? I think it was today or yesterday that got filed, where he addressed the judge. We see this is the letter right here. So again, the materials provided to the defense counsel. Defense counsel has been provided with 19 pages of materials seized from Mr. Combs' locker at the MDC. According to the government, these 19 pages were given to and are in the possession of the trial team, which has already started using these privileged materials to its advantage, including its opposition to bail. Based on the materials provided as Exhibit A, it appears a government investigator took photographs of several different items. These include intact pages from 2 different legal pads, pages of an address book, ripped out, folded over page of a 3rd legal pad, ripped out page of another legal pad, ripped out page of yet a different legal pad, as well being described below. The first page is a page from a folded over intact legal pad. The second page is a copy of the first page, but it's partially enlarged. Pages 3 through 11 are pages of an address book. Pretty much just taking down addresses on people. So a private investigator ripped out pages of the book. You shitting me right now? And you talking about something you want him free? You want him free? Wow. And he got investigators doing shit like that. So now you got addresses of people that you're looking for and shit. So this is, again, more evidence of why you're seeing these influencers being walked up on and other people and so on and so forth. They're looking up people's addresses and whatnot. That's crazy to me right now. So pages 14, 15, and 16 appear to be folded over pages of the same intact legal pad. Page 17 is a single folded piece of paper removed from yet another legal pad. This legal pad has 3 vertical lines down the left side, whereas the other 2, okay, so they're just describing actual pages and shit like that. So they pretty much just ripped shit out, and pretty much was these private investigators hired by Diddy are pretty much just witness tampering again. The notes are obviously privileged. Like I said, it doesn't make sense to, drag it on. He's not getting bail. He's not getting bail at all. And this, of course, is the nail in the coffin of why he's not getting bail. This is when, Agnifilo went up there and said, yo, let me just speak my piece. Let me just speak my piece. Because, dog, he's tampering with evidence. You didn't call Foxy, allegedly. You didn't call 128 different times. Dog, you doing too much. You doing too much in there. You doing entirely too much. That's what this boils down to. You doing entirely too much. Why do you expect to get any type of sympathy from this judge, the court of public opinion, or thereof, after them finding not only some type of contraband, but mainly the letters is what they want to know about. The letters and the text messages. Dog, why are you doing this to yourself? I don't know why people said this was going to be some type of win for him when they already had probable cause to go up in there. Well, see, that's the thing. I thought about getting a VPN. I thought about it. I still might. But at the same time, ain't for that just yet. It might not be for that just yet. It might not be for that just yet. But the diddler ain't going nowhere, man. The diddler is staying behind bars. The diddler is definitely staying behind bars, in my opinion, anyway. I definitely am thinking about getting a VP. I ain't gonna hold you. I definitely ain't gonna hold you on that one. But did y'all know about this with Liam Payne? So remember when I said that manager seemed a little bit, funny with how he was talking? They're saying that this is a video of him talking to the hotel staff getting the drugs from him. So apparently, this is the concierge over here on the left. Okay, so there goes Liam right there. Now the guy's leaving. Is he gonna come back? Okay, there goes the manager coming in. So apparently the manager is the one that gave him the shit. The manager's the one that got him the shit. Isn't that something right there, though? The manager got him the drugs that he called him on. What a setup. You were talking to the hotel staff manager to get the drugs. What a setup. What a setup. You were talking to the staffer that was charged, to the hotel staffer that was even charged with the drugs. Manager even came out clear as day. The one that made the call. Clear as day. We saw him clear as day. And here goes Liam. Guy leaves. His hands in his pocket with the money. And then we see big guy with the suit. Then he comes back again. There goes big guy with the suit leaving. But why does it look like they? See, what doesn't make sense is all this stuff right here, even the cleaning stuff right here, right? So when exactly did he destroy the place if he was very calm right here before he even got the drugs? And then, see what I'm saying? This is why I said that manager seemed a little too calm in that call. He seemed extremely calm in that call. A little too calm for me. And if you're the hotel manager and you got all that staff around there, look at that. You had all that staff around that damn door. You mean to tell me you're just going to let him bust up that shit? Ain't nobody going to go in there? Nobody? Nobody going to go in there. Okay. All right. Y'all keep trying to pull this wool over my fucking eyes. I get it. I get it. Rest in peace to Liam Payne, though, yo. Because that's some bullshit right there. When I see shit like that, I call bullshit. Because it's like, yo, why y'all keep trying to tell us that he was on the drugs when y'all set him up with that shit? Why y'all making it seem like he brought that shit there when y'all set him up with that shit? There's little shit like that bothers me, yo. It be little dumb shit like that bother me. Little dumb shit like that bother me, yo. Alright. Alright, what else I had? I almost feel like that was it. I almost feel like that was all I had. Oh. Well, yeah, that was all I had. I forgot I forgot we had already went over the, whatchamacallit, with Ray J. I forgot we went over Ray J already. So, I'll be putting out the clips that I went over with Ray J on Twitch. Sometime this week, I'll be putting those clips out. I forgot I went over that already. I completely forgot. Man, I wish my chat would refresh and I could see everybody. So I can't tell who else is up in here. I gotta go off memory now. Now I gotta go off memory and shit. I'll be back tomorrow. I'll be motherfucking back tomorrow. I will be fucking back tomorrow. So like I said, we're gonna do Angels and Demons tomorrow and then Scientology the following day. I'm here all motherfucking week. I'm back, baby. Shout out to Fury B, the homie. New Eyes, Only One Zane. What had happened was, trying to think if I remember everybody. Medusa was up in here. Jay Porter, Jay Williams. Yes, I'm gonna try to get me some rest. I don't know what time is it right now. It says 1:20. I know it's only 12 right here. But yes. Shout out to New Eyes. I'm trying to think who else is up in here. Yes. Which is the best platform to catch me on? Twitch. I'll put it up in the chat again for everybody. I'll put both links in the chat right now. I'm gonna put this one in the chat right now too. Because I would like everybody to, if you have not already, matter of fact, I guess I should get rid of that C. If you have not already, sign up to Live from the Spot podcast and the Patreon. And of course, to catch the lives, Simpletown Radio, what's going on? To catch the lives, Twitch TV. What had happened was, so there was the clarity one there was A1, so definitely catch that. Free B, like I'm already over here, man. That's what I'm talking about. Simpletown Radio. Trying to think everybody else is up in here. That's missing me now. I can't scroll all the way up and see everybody. It's crazy. I can't see everybody no more. Cause I got the multi-stream on, so we on Kick, we on Twitch, we on YouTube. I try to get Rumble working. I'm still trying to get Rumble working. But yeah, shout out to everybody that was up in here, man. Shout out to everybody that's up in here tonight. DJ Beard Gang. Trying to think of everybody's name real quick. I think I saw Icon Vonnie up in here. I know Juju was up in here. God bless everybody. Tybon was up in here. I'm trying to think who else is up in here tonight. Forgive me if I can't remember the names. But once again, it's been a pleasure this evening. As always. And like I said, tune in to Twitch TV tomorrow. And we will be doing a watch party on Angels and Demons. And I will be doing my best to break down that movie in correlation to what we talked about today. With everything. With Project Bluebeam. I love you all. I miss y'all, yo. I'm back, baby. The next time. Peace.
Werner von Braun in his deathbed in 1974 told a member of my team,
Dominguez, Simpletown Radio, DJ Beard Gang, Medusa. Thank you, Fury B. Icon Vonnie,
a threat from outer space. To try to unite the world, like Independence Day, the movie, in a sort of a military global junta of humans against aliens. It's all nonsense. It's BS. But it sells well. It sells movies, it sells tickets, it sells books.
This is the Bluebeam
The
Project
Mind's
Bluebeam.
Eye.
Yeah, that related to that. And I've met with many men who've been on operationally, like literally have been operational on those programs. It went from really
Watch too
clunky
much
stuff,
reality.
like the Betty and Barney Hill abduction. People think that was alien. It wasn't. It was us. Late 50s, early 60s. And I think President Obama's actually working on a documentary about that. And it was an interracial couple, and very interesting.
what it is, you really do.
The bullshit.